Well, okay, guys. I guess we can start. Spend your experience points, Brian. What are you buying, if anything?
Nothing right now.
All right, and Andrew.
Yeah, so I guess I've got the XP to do because it's 200 to take a career that's not in your career path, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm probably not gonna take any like skills or anything yet.
Okay.
Because I haven't had a chance to check on those, and I don't want to sit here and keep everybody in suspense. So.
Yeah, sure. But you've read on the illness, right?
Oh yeah, that I've read on. Yeah. I was talking about more the career, the career change. So,
Okay.
So yeah. I've read up on the wilderness, the mental illness, and all the tests required for that.
Okay, awesome. Jason, are you buying anything?
I'm trying to make sense of my numbers. Our last session was March 15th. Does that sound right? Or am I?
22nd. 22nd.
Okay, I must have an older version of this open.
You might have missed that set? Didn't somebody miss that session?
I think no. That was the session when we were all playing. And then I think one of you could make it, and the other couldn't make it, I think, and so we've rescheduled for today because there was Easter along the way.
The reason I don't have it noted is because you just gave everybody 100, so I will. That's why it's not on my paperwork. But
okay.
With that 100, I guess I will throw it into weapon skill.
Nice. And finally, we have Sean. My first question: are you spending fate point to restore your arm? And my second question: are you buying anything for the XP?
I'm definitely gonna expend the fate point to keep my arm.
Right. Okay.
Let me double check what's going on, and then I'm woefully unprepared today because, of course, I had so much time to do stuff, and then ended up not having time. So, so I'm now down to 2 fate points.
It's still not bad.
Hey, 2 more than I got.
Yeah. Okay. So also who's making notes today? Oh, by the way, I may be a little groggy today. Sorry, guys, for that. I am also working, and I had the help desk duty this week. Help desk duty means that you are mailing with some really, really, really stupid people.
Oh yeah, I used to work before law school. I worked IT help desk.
I usually don't like saying that about other folks. Like, I get that there are a lot of people who are like not computer savvy or just like other things, but seriously, this was a special week for me.
Yeah. I remember one time I had a lady. She had 7 different file sharing apps running on her in the background of her computer, and was trying to tell me that was not why her computer was running like molasses.
The nicest person today was a man who said that he invented a cure for COVID and that he infected himself to prove that it works, and that we really should show him on television.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even reply to that because that's what can I say to this man, right?
Hey, that's good that he wants to share his discovery.
But the cool thing is that he
started eating things out of his fish tank.
The cool thing was that he wanted to sell the cure to Polish government for $3 million, but to the outside world for only $20,000. So not really patriotic, I must say.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Seems like it should be the other way around, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was just when the alcohol stopped working, maybe he just mixed those things, or maybe the extra chromosome.
The cure itself.
Yeah, or maybe the extra chromosome in his body just acted up. Sorry for that. But like I said, he was one of the nicer people, so I can't really talk shit about him. Yeah, pretty cool guy.
Oh.
So anyway, sorry, Sean, are you buying anything? Because Because of all that, I just forgot to ask.
I don't know what to buy.
Okay. Oh yeah. I remember that you didn't have time to. Okay, sure. Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, I would like to ask if all of you are healthy. That's if everyone's
more or
okay.
less.
Physically, yeah.
Okay.
Physically, yes.
All right. But I guess.
Emotionally, it's draining.
Yeah, but I guess you are. The isolation is getting to you.
Oh yeah, we're on. This is the 7th week now. Like we could
I
probably
have-
be to
I have-
Mars by now.
I have 3 kids, one of which has bad ADD. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
it's getting old.
That's what I was doing just before coming here, was helping my son figure out what homework he has left to do today, because apparently you assign things in like 5 different places, and one place says it's due at the end of the month and the other place says it's due today.
Yeah.
So, and that's how essentially how this week is gone.
Okay. Okay. Well, Jason, you okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Dealt with some local drama because a couple dogs got to a pregnant cat, and then the cat ended up mortally wounded under my girlfriend's deck. So
Oh.
that was some shenanigans there. So
Well, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Well, hopefully it's okay now. Who's making
the
notes?
work's going well.
Who's making notes today, guys?
I think it's
me.
a new turn because I think last time was my last one. I mean, I know it was my last one.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so who's now Brian?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, it's Brian. Okay. Just one quick thing before we start. I don't know if any of you saw the post on the group Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Game Masters. I've tried 4th edition. We are playing it with the other group, and I must say that my opinions are kind of mixed. Just so you know, it's a very solid game, but it has problems. I don't think I would probably be willing to switch from 2nd to 4th edition. I'm saying that because if I recall correctly, there were some of you who wanted to try it.
I said I'd be willing to try it.
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
I'm
Yeah, if
always
it's,
looking to buy in a new game.
I'll take
So
your word for it.
okay. I mean, this game has a lot of problems. I'm not going to take game time right now to go into detail. Maybe later. Just so you know, I think that 2nd edition, as flawed as it is in many ways, like combat, for example, combat in 4th is much worse.
Yeah, that's what I gathered from your post, that you're saying that there were some issues with combat.
Yeah, but I mean, even worse things are like character progression. We haven't actually got to it. I mean, it's like a one-shot thing. We are playing a couple of one-shots before switching to Call of Cthulhu for a few one-shots, and then hopefully we'll return to our normal games. So we are not really progressing. I mean, the guys are not really progressing their characters. I've prepared pre-gens for them, right? But some of them wanted to, progress, because I am giving them XP, and I'm saying like, okay, you can, but I haven't read the chapter about progression, so if you know the rules, go for it. And they say they did, and they've explained, and man, it's just so wonky. You have to count a lot on this edition, and I think that's the main problem.
Yeah.
You like 1st edition?
No, not really. It's too old for me.
mean,
I respect
first
the
edition is
nostalgia, but it's just an old game.
well, yeah, it's really similar. It just has, like, they streamlined a lot of stuff pretty well with 2nd edition, but 2nd edition and 1st edition are like, you can run 1st edition campaign books and stuff in 2nd edition.
Well,
with
I am
very
doing that. I
modifications.
am running, the enemy within. Well, I was running before the epidemic, the enemy within, and it's very easy, like no problem. But for example, with 4th edition, I would have problems adjusting the 1st or 2nd edition modules. Yeah, I don't want to sound like a hater, because really it's not a bad game. It's just it has flaws.
Not bad.
Yeah. And anyway, well, I mean, it's still better than the 3rd, but I guess that, the whole 5 people who play this game will probably disagree with me. funny thing about third edition players, they're like literally there are few of them, but they are always the loudest when it comes to defending the third edition. Like, oh, you don't get it, it's not a board game. Sure it is. Well, anyway, the dust has settled, or rather, dust mixed with blood and slime. Villa Hahn is full of horrors, and the horrors are not only inside but outside as well. You've battled a bunch of small diminutive creatures from the outer dark, and those creatures, well, they really went to town on you. For example, what's your name? I forgot. Otto, you could swore that you've lost your arm at one point. One of those devils just jumped on you and yanked your arm from your socket. But after the adrenaline stopped flowing, you felt this cold feeling in your arm where it used to be, and when you've taken a look, the arm is still there. It hurts a bit, and it's cold, but it's still there. Your comrades, well, they have fared fairly well. One of them escaped into the dark, screaming, but the others held their ground. The remaining two hunters and the man named Gregor Schlossberger are still with you. I would like to remind everyone that it's already dark. The fireflies are the only source of illumination, honestly, in this place. They cast this eerie green light all around you. And the pond was probably the last place on the villa's premises that you had to check. The only remaining place is the maze. And I also think that you haven't exactly, I mean, you haven't thoroughly checked the garden, which is blah, blah, blah. How do you...
The red X next to the red X.
Yeah, the red X. On the left of the gazebo.
Yeah.
If I will ever learn how to make those little ping thingies on the screen, I will probably be able to show you. Anyone knows how to do this?
What thingies?
I think it's control. Well, it used to be. Yeah, I can make it ping. You probably can't see mine. I can make my cursor ping by hitting control, but I only see it on my screen. So.
And can you now see? I'm hitting control over the.
No, I can't see it.
Okay. I'll figure it out.
There's probably a GM setting or something.
Probably. Because I don't know if I told you guys, I've decided to buy an extra subscription for a single month, so we have like dynamic lighting and stuff like that.
That's cool.
I've mainly did it to because we've run out of space for our handouts. So I had to,
Oh, if you need
buy
us to
more
chip
space.
in any.
So what?
Yeah.
If you need us to chip in any.
No, come on, no. It's no big deal.
Or if you want to archive the old stuff and just save it locally.
I
that.
kind of like the thing that we have, so many handouts from our games. I think it builds, atmosphere, and I wouldn't honestly want to get rid of it. It's no big deal, guys. Seriously. Besides, I am running one other game and a few one-shots from time to time, so I am using Roll20 a lot. Everything's cool. Anyway, I will check those new options and maybe maybe we'll use them in our games. Anyway, you are all getting up. You are all, gathering your weapons, gathering your wits. You are all hurting, and you are all wounded. What now?
Is my leg still not working?
Your leg, I think, is working because it was only temporary. Let me see conditions.
It was like the poison or something.
Yeah. No. He just tripped. No, it's all right. It's all right.
Oh.
It was a spell. My leg just stopped working.
Yeah.
Or it was a prayer that went bad.
Yeah. Otto has -5 to all tests currently, but you have your arm, so I'm going to remove that from my notes. All right. So what now, please?
Do we all have one? Sorry, do we all have 1 hit point, or is because I technically have 0 hit points?
So in that case, you have 1. Though,
Okay.
yeah. In
Sorry,
that case,
go ahead.
Yes.
I was gonna say I think like Snorri disappear for a little bit and come back looking really funky, like he's not in a good mental state. Actually, I did want to say, can I? Because I have the XP for it. Can I take dodge blow?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, cool.
He magically learns how to dodge blow after being hit many times.
He just shadow boxing in the bathroom.
Hey man, whatever works.
So Otto says, "It's getting dark. I feel like one way we could get a source of light is to burn this fucking place down."
You see that the hunters are really creeped out, Gregor as well, and they're like, her priest, Trent is gone. Trent was one of the hunters who miserably failed his check and just ran away screaming into the dark.
Didn't 2 of them die in that fight
No,
or something?
no, actually they are all still alive. Schlossberger as well.
Ulrich will either protect him or let him meet his fate.
They just look at
I
you.
want to take a knee and say a prayer with anybody that wants to pray to Sigmar with me.
All of the hunters and Gregor pray with you. Otto, you know that it will be very hard to burn this place down, mainly because of the dampness. And you also have a nasty suspicion that this house is not entirely real anymore, and you doubt that it will let you burn it down. Plus, you haven't saw... I mean, you could do that probably, but you haven't saw a single flask of oil in the entire Villa Hahn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if we can like smash up the gazebo and make torches or anything like that. Or
yeah, sure. Well, I mean, you could probably, but you remember what was in gazebo? The hornets.
Oh yeah, I guess they're still. Well, they chased us all around the whole freaking thing, though, right? Are they still there?
Yes. Well, you don't know. You can always check.
Okay. No thanks. All right. So
Francisco wants to try tending to his wounds, and I don't know if we've had a conversation like this before, but he's going to ask if anybody can help him with bandages or anything, because
yeah, I have the heal skill and I have the healing ritual.
All right, but my question is because some of you, I believe, already healed today. Remember, you can only use heal skill once per day on a person.
Unless it's a spell.
Yeah, unless it's a spell, and I'm 100% sure that some of you, if not all of you, were already treated today. So unless Vrentar will use his powers, I mean, you can treat the hunters and Gregor. But the rest of you, and I also think that you can treat Snorri, like he just got hammered during this fight, not during the fight with the spawn. Oh, and by the way, Trent returns, shaking and with his breeches soiled, but still alive. You know, the other Jaegers are like, "Oh, Trent!" and you know they run to hug him. They are really close, after all. They are friends. So yeah.
There's. I apologize for changing this. There's a. So I'm from the South. I watch a lot of wrestling.
Okay.
There's a tag team called the Best Friends, one of whose name is Trent, and their big shtick is that they hug each other all the time.
Sounds good.
Sorry, so when you know,
no worries.
Trent returns and they all hug each other. That's
pro wrestling. All right. Cool. That's actually a cool story. Yeah, but of course, you know, you are probably more. You are probably happy because it's always one more sword arm that you can use. Let's be honest. So far, this place is horrible. It's just full of terrors and horrors unimaginable. So, my question is, do you guys want to heal magically, or do you guys want to heal the Jaegers and Gregor? Or I don't know, do you guys want to do something else?
I will definitely try to heal. Yes, I will definitely try to heal with my heal skill. People I haven't done that to already.
Okay. You have any bandages? Clean bandages?
Of course not.
Because those with heal skill will know one thing. Without clean bandages, it's probably a very bad idea to heal anyone here. This place is rife with plague. You can, of course, tear your clothes and make improvised bandages, but remember that your clothes went through a lot, including this house. This house, which is a cesspit of disease and plague. Oh, and all of you feel sick, to some extent. Actually, I am going to tell you quickly. Vrentar, you begin to feel horrible stench emanating from your feet.
Gross.
But it's like really bad. It's not stinking feet. Your feet stink like a sewer, like an overflowed sewer. Snorri, you begin to itch in a couple of places, and even subconsciously you just start to scratch yourself. Otto, you begin to feel something in your stomach.
There's a lot of diarrhea in this campaign.
The case of the shits returns.
Dieter's revenge.
Dieter's revenge. Francisco, you begin to itch similar to Snorri.
All right.
Oh, and you also can see that Snorri is kinda shell-shocked. I guess it's the right word.
Yeah, after he came back, there was a lot of like mud in his hair and stuff, and it's all looking funky.
Yeah. So,
Slayer, eh?
So, do any of you want to use medical, skills normally, or perhaps you want to risk it and just summon the power of Sigmar? I am, of course, asking Brian because he's the only one who can do that.
I'm willing to rest Brian.
All right.
Oh, and all of your food, I would like to recall, is spoiled. Your backpacks and slingbacks stink. Even the alcohol, if any of you had, for example, alcohol like vodka, which cannot really be spoiled, it is also spoiled. Like, it turned into vinegar.
I think I emptied out my bag last time.
Would healing draughts fall under that?
No, only food and drink.
Okay.
So healing draughts and all medical things are okay, but all of you just lost your entire rations. Which is I would like to remind you is also a very, very bad thing, especially in Truckworld.
Does everybody look equally absolutely terrible?
Yeah.
That's my way of saying on 1 hit point.
I mean I don't think I know that Otto is on 1 hit point. I'm pretty sure.
Snorri's on 1 hit point.
Snorri's on 1
Yeah.
hit point.
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
No, actually,
Yeah,
sorry, Otto.
Otto's on 1. Yeah.
So you're on 1. Snorri's on 1. Francisco, you're on 1.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Vrentar, you're also on 1.
Yep.
Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry. By Sigmar, how horrifying. Okay, well, it's up to
I'm
you.
gonna ask Snorri in Kazalid if he's all right.
what do you mean, am I all right? Again, he responds in I almost said English, in Imperial, and then
Is that common?
stomps off. What?
Is that common? Yeah, it's just common, right? Language.
Yeah.
Will you accept the prayers of the man god for your wounds? I'm
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the best way to answer that. Trying to think of the way he would answer that.
I have to offer it to the dwarf first.
Yeah, you're going to get a response about the insignificant gods of mankind and they don't help and blah 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 blah.
Oh
I'm
snap!
gonna nod and try not to take offense, but I.
Well, that's a pretty, hardcore thing that he just said.
But a dwarf said it, so I'm twice in a tough spot here.
Yeah, that's true.
Honor the dwarf, but also he just insulted me or my god.
Yeah.
But he's allowed to because he's a dwarf, and I don't know what.
Oh, actually, the couple of Jaegers look at Snorri with strange look on their eyes. They're not saying anything, but they are certainly, not taking it lightly. For those, yeah.
The dwarves are proud people. They simply crafted a Sigmar's hammer and fought alongside him. I doubt they'd accept his help.
We should follow the example of Ulrich and go off and destroy our enemies.
Aye,
Farting around.
that's the first sensible thing one of you men have said in a while.
Well, I am sticking with you, priest, says Gregor, and he just moved closer to Otto. Yeah, no, I mean, Otto, your stomach aches and you can feel the grumbling, and you know what's coming in probably an hour or so from now.
I loosen the flap on my armor.
Yeah. Trent, of course, he already shot himself, so he adds like this very nice smell to the overall pool.
The odor of piety.
Yeah.
Could I try a healing hand on myself?
What's the description? If the description allows you to do so, of course.
Yeah.
Because some of the spells only work on others. So
Yeah,
that's...
this is touch.
Okay,
so
yeah, so you can, no problem, of course. So you know what to do. First, you roll for channeling.
I failed it.
Alright, so that's first of all, let me quickly, because this can actually affect your roll.
Yeah.
You have casting...
Is he going to get a mutation for touching himself?
He'll go blind.
No, the hair will grow on the inside of his palms.
Oh, there you go.
Alright, you have magic characteristic too, Brian, right?
I believe so. Let me look real quick. Yes, 2.
Okay, so like... okay, let me roll. It's okay. You, Sandy, the priest of Sigmar, burst into flames.
Now we have a light source.
He turned.
Frederico lowers his hand before he asks for healing himself.
He turns into a human torch. Alright, and so this is how it works. Brian. Oh god, I need to find the being a flame part. I think, oh yeah, here it is. You begin to burn. So, you of course, I know that you probably... Well, first of all, you are close to a pond. You can jump into a pond if you wish so. But you can very well... you can just as well, roll on the ground if you prefer. Like, no problem. But for at least one round, you will take damage. I don't need to tell you that Gregor and the other huntsmen just jumped away, screaming in terror. They just saw a man, begin to invoke the power of Sigmar, and then just started to to burn, and by that I mean he just, it's not like his hand is burning. No, his entire body has burst into flames, and all of you are also shocked. In fact, I would like all of you to roll willpower. This is not for insanity points, don't worry. But I want all of you except Brian, of course, to roll for willpower. Alright. Alright. Alright.
Okay. I failed my first one, and then now I guess I got to take my second one.
Yeah, Jaegers actually composed themselves, and Gregor as well. You've managed to compose yourself, Andy.
At least not to the point where I, go crazy.
Yeah. All of you, you're just, you're rooted to the spot with shock. Only for a single turn, mind you. After this turn, you can act normally. Brian, now, it's you take a single strength 5 hit.
No armor.
No armor and no toughness. Yeah.
That just goes straight through.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's 1d10 plus 5. So let me see.
Yeah, that's a super crit. No matter how you want to slice it.
7. Only 7. You just lose 7 wounds. And for the sake of criticals, this goes towards your head.
Okay, I have 1 wound, so I'm -6.
You're -6, and it goes towards your head. So we shall see on the critical chart what will happen to you. You don't have fate points. Okay.
Nope.
So it's -6, only 42, so that's probably not bad. Okay. Man, this is just flame. Okay, flame and energy. Roll -20 toughness test. All right. A jet of flame burns your scalp to the bone. You've just passed out from the heat shock to the brain. You will suffer a penalty of -20% to all tests for. Let me quickly check. For the next 5 rounds. Due to pain and dizziness. After the battle, which is now, the loss of skin results in serious risk of infection. You have to pass an average test or suffer an infection that will leave you helpless and delirious for D10 days, whereupon you have to make another test or either recover or die. Because of the exposed bone and the skin not being able to grow back over it properly, anytime you are exposed to sources of contamination, such as walking through a swamp, or sleeping in a
Or a blighted Nurgle manor.
Yes, or sleeping in a dirty barn. The GM might force you to repeat those tests. Magical healing will let the skin grow back, preventing this. So I would like to ask you to make a toughness test. A basic toughness test. Alright, you've passed. Okay, you've just passed. Yeah, so, but you are still on fire, so that means that next turn unless you put the flames out, you can repeat that. Fortunately, let's also make this a bit easier. The Jaegers and Gregor just, rushed you and bore you to the ground and simply, patted the flames with their cloaks, with their hands. The rest of you guys, I mean Francisco, Otto, and Snorri, you were just emerging from this shock when the whole thing ended. That said, you see that Vrentar is in horrible shape. His entire scalp, you can see the bone. The flesh is burned, the meat is burned. he looks like something from a horror story. Yeah. And even though the flames have been doused, you can see that he is. Well, I mean, for less than a minute. After like a minute, it went away. But for a minute, he was just, yelling in pain and completely unresponsive. So yeah, that's just happened. Oh, and one insanity point for you, Brian, which actually reminded me you had to make another test before the game. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So please make the test already. Willpower. And now make the second test because that was for for the previous insanity point. You've accumulated another one just now. Wow, you've passed. Okay. How many insanity points do you have?
I've seen it all.
Yeah, even with the minus 20%, you've passed. Okay. How many insanity points do you have currently?
9.
You have strong-willed, so you will be getting the illness automatically after 12, I believe.
I thought it was 8, actually. Kind of confused. I have 9.
So if you have 8...
Did you already
I think
roll for insanity?
Go till 8 insanity. Yeah, it requires 8 insanity points for insanity check. And I didn't get an insanity point last time, so I have 9.
Yeah.
So does that mean I have 11 now?
No. That means that you've passed, but you still have 9 insanity points, actually.
Yeah, you don't start testing it until you get 8, whereas the rest of us start testing at 6.
Yeah, at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything's okay, Brian. Well, that was fun. The Jaegers...
I love his idea of what everything being okay is.
What?
So I love your idea of what everything being okay is.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's start calling you Red Skull.
The Jaegers and Gregor are muttering something about this place being cursed and that the gods have turned away from you. After all, a priest of Sigmar just, invoked a clear sign of his god's displeasure. He burst into flame. Yeah, that's especially troubling for you, Otto, I might add.
Am I still on fire?
No.
Or did they...
You're just in horrible pain. Like I've said before,
I'm
you're
wide-eyed and not saying anything.
Yeah.
Hey, but doesn't he still get to see if the spell actually went off?
No, because he couldn't cast it because of the whole burst into flame thing.
Okay, because
So-
I know sometimes they do even when you screw up.
Yeah, but this was like one of the rare occasions where the spell wouldn't be able to go off because of the effect of the miscast. All right. What now?
I'm gonna try it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
By the way, Vrentar, at this point you are pretty sure that Sigmar is extremely displeased with you, since things like that are happening to you. This is, yeah.
I'm gonna do a lot of praying, not the kind that can blow up in my face, but just
Yeah.
nice prayers to Sigmar.
So Otto says, "Brothers, we are in a forsaken place. We must pull ourselves out, much like Ulrich did when he fought off something or other that I don't know about right now."
That guy that one time, don't you remember? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you see that Jaegers and Gregor are basically just, hugging around you, Otto. And they are looking at Vrentar with wide eyes and fear in their eyes, essentially.
What does heal use? Because I have the skill, but I just don't think I have the.
Heal?
We need clean bandages, and we don't have that. So they're essentially at this point, we there's nothing we can do.
I guess even our sleeves are.
You can use your sleeves, no problem. That said, do you want to use your sleeves after you've been fighting in this place for the last couple of hours, taking wounds from the creatures that you fought here? Like I said,
I guess I just don't know how they look.
You are all covered in muck, slime, dirt, filth, and blood. Honestly, if you would use your clothes for healing, for bandages, you would probably automatically contract a very nasty illness.
All right.
Yeah.
Super
Oh,
AIDS.
yeah. It's just difficult to visualize it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep. So if I recall correctly from Tobias's notes, we need to go
To the maze.
into the maze. Yeah. Back. What does it say? Something about the plague temple.
Yes, in the middle of the maze, supposedly.
Yeah. So I say, there's nothing for it, man. We need to go into this redempt maze and destroy the evil that lurks within it.
Yeah. Vrentar is just sobbing with pain. The hunters and the thief are just muttering prayers. Snorri is muttering something probably to himself, and you, Otto, can feel the shit's coming.
Francisco's like looking at everybody else like, are we all listening to this guy saying that we should go into this? He's just trying to like gauge everybody else like, is he serious in our state?
Well, but what other choice do we have? I guess I mean, one of the hunters is saying that, by the way. I guess we can go back into the forest, but there are the wolves, Meineren. I've told you about them before. They're no creatures of Ulrich. I think they serve whatever evil is in this villa. We
cannot at least take some time to recover.
Gregor is like, "Are you madman? Recover here, in this hell on earth? Look at him!" And he points at Vrentar. He is practically dead. Our only chance is to go into the maze, kill whatever is there, and then leave. I mean,
the twin-tailed comet hasn't fallen yet.
Whatever.
Snorri laughs and says that there will be a great opportunity for a death worthy of the sagas.
The hunters and Gregor look at you, Snorri, like you're like you're actually mad.
Francisco says, "Well, it's hard to see."
For a second.
Hint: he is.
Yeah.
Michael, would I know anything about? Sorry.
Yeah, Francisco, go. Sorry.
Francisco says, in response to Renthar, "Well, with these bloody trees, the twin-tailed comet could have fallen yesterday."
Well, I don't know about you lads, but I do not hear the drums of my demise. We must go forward and kill the infidel.
Is everybody getting their doom points in right now? Is that what?
I think so.
No, Snorri has basically thrown his doom to the wind.
Would I know anything about slayers?
Ro, do you have knowledge, dwarfs?
Not sure. I know Kazalid though.
That's not the same.
1 second. Okay.
Slayer culture is a very personal thing to a dwarf, and it's not widely known outside the race.
And also, he didn't exactly have any orange hair dye, so
yeah. He just told, he just said about Doom, but that doesn't mean that you would automatically know that he will become a Slayer. I mean, you know as a player, but you don't know as a character.
Yeah, and dwarves, they're kind of already obsessed with that anyway, so, like, that's not exactly out of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and also, how many people have the opportunity to actually meet a Slayer besides Felix?
Since most people, who play Warhammer Fantasy read Gertrude and Felix, they think that Slayers are just so popular. They're on every corner because because there's a series of books about them. But that's not true. Slayers are actually probably rather rarely seen in the Empire, honestly.
Well, yeah, wouldn't a good Slayer not be a Slayer for very long?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why Gotrek is the worst Slayer in the world, in the history. I think that was even mentioned in one of the books, or in a couple of them, that he considers himself to be a horrible Slayer, because he killed everything, And in one book, he essentially wants to return to the Empire during the Storm of Chaos because there's a big chance that he'll meet another greater demon, and this was the creature that came closest to killing him, ever.
Well, I'll put it. There in Slayer the Storm God, he actually
Kills,
has a greater demon. Well, no, there's a greater demon. Like, yeah, no, I'm not going to fight you because I know how you die, and it's not me. So
no,
I'm going to go.
It's in the Elf Slayer.
Is that an Elf Slayer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Slayer of the Storm God, he fights an avatar of Stromfels at the end. But in the Elf, in the Elf Slayer, he fights. I mean, he wants to fight a Keeper of Secrets, but the Keeper of Secrets is like, I'm a head out. he just leaves.
Andy, the way you said that, I just picture the greater demon actually saying it just like that. Like, yeah, I know how you guys fight. I'm not in on that, so and just flies away.
And that's like,
catch you on the flip side.
lol, nope, and he runs away. Yeah. So anyway, you are all swapping epic dooms. Telling how are you going to die. One of the Jaegers is telling something about hourglass and shattering. Gregor is telling something about something else, some random doom.
Back in Estalia, where I worship my god, just trying to get all these done here. Just kidding.
But funny as that may sound, this actually helps you. You are, you are just pumping yourselves up. You are saying, yeah, we are going to get them, yeah, stuff like that, and so that is actually pretty helpful. But my question is, do you actually want to go to the maze, or do you want to go somewhere else?
Snorri wants to go to the maze.
Yeah, to the maze.
All right.
I'm with the dwarf.
What about? Otto.
France.
Otto wants to go to the maze. Jaegers and Gregor are with Otto, so they go where he will go. What about Francisco?
Francisco, knowing that he's the only one that thinks that he has the sense and not going, just shrugs and is like, well, I'm not going to go off on my own. So he gestures towards the back of the house as if, okay, let's do it.
So
at which point Snorri smacks him on the shoulder and says, good lad, your ancestors will be proud of you.
Well, in that case, you are all heading, limping more like, towards the maze. The maze is this, immense, just blotch of darkness in front of you. Even the firefly's dim green light doesn't really illuminate any part of it. It's as if the maze devours light. And as you approach it, as you are passing the gazebo, which by the way, the hornets are no longer there. When you are passing the garden, you can almost swear that the maze is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you approach it. It's just huge. It's like a garden of plagues, in the middle of which is the prime evil. The evil responsible for this whole situation, the evil responsible for the whole business with the child, the evil responsible for the fall of the Hahn family. Somewhere within the maze is Karl, Sigmar reborn, or perhaps the great pretender, the great liar, the great hoax. You are approaching the maze. Vrentar is trying. You can hear his teeth grinding. You are pretty sure that this man is dying, but he is still walking. The Jaegers, they are out of their element. They are muttering something. They are, looking all around them, casting nervous glances at every shadow, but they are walking with you. They are men of faith of the Empire. Even the coward Gregor Schlossberger, the opportunist and thief, even he walks with you with his sword bare. In the end, he's man of the Empire. he will do his duty. There's also Snorri, the son of the mountains, the unyielding dwarf, and his doom will indeed be mighty. Finally, we have Otto, chosen of Ulrich, he who howls to the moon. Yeah, you can actually, when you look at Otto, you can swear that one of his arms is actually like emanating this cold aura, but you're not sure. It's like one time it's there, the other it's gone. But he is like a bulwark against evil. And finally we have Francesco, right?
Well, that was Francisco.
Francisco, master swordsman from the faraway land. And despite him being an outsider, an alien, he is one of you. In this very place, he is your comrade. And you know that you can count on his sword arm. And then the darkness and the gloom surrounding you. They're all around you, but for a split second, you can hear something. You can hear something piercing the gloom. It's Otto's stomach grumbling as he's trying desperately to hold the diarrhea while also holding his axe. You have an axe, right?
No, I have a great sword.
Sorry, his great sword. Yeah. Funny as that may sound, this actually does make him human. This is actually very comforting to you. Because, yeah, he's a priest, but he's also one of you. While the creatures that you fought here, they're no longer human. Not anymore. So you are taking comfort in small things like that. As strange as that may sound. You are finally arriving at the entrance to the maze. Beyond the ruins of the glass house and the garden is an overgrown hedge maze. You know what lies within the center of this place. It's the hedge maze is generally made up of overgrown and untended bushes that stand some 12 feet tall. You are entering the maze, I presume.
Yep.
All right. So my question is, what's your order of marching? Who's going first?
Otto will go first.
Otto will go.
I think Snorri would be right behind him, if not trying to push him out of the way to be first.
All right. Who's after that? Who's after?
Francisco.
All right. Vrentar, what about you?
I think I should go in the back to try and rally people if they run.
And also so
I'm
you don't
pretty
kill the
useless
rest
with
of
it.
us when you try to use your first prayer.
Yeah.
Terrify them into staying.
All right.
So I got Otto, Snorri, Francisco, Gregor, Hunters, and me.
Well, you won't be able to go last. I mean, the Jaegers are, two of them are going in front of you. Then it's you. Then Gregor and the last Jaeger. They are saying that they don't want you to go last.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I would also like to say that as you enter the maze, you can see that, as I've said before, it's overgrown, and infesting the grove is a thick tangle of thorny vines that sprout pale yellow trumpet-like flowers. By the way, does any of you have any source of light? Because it's dark here.
Trying to remember who. At some point, I think we had two sources, but I don't know what happened.
Snorri had some. I don't remember. Have we lost all our gear or something?
Not all of your gear, but I do believe that one of you. I think your lantern Snorri is busted.
Yeah, I remember one of them going, but I don't remember if both of them went.
So anyway,
Well, Snorri also
Hunters
had
a
torches.
torch in the house.
yes, I mean, all right. Snorri has torches, and the Jaegers also, produce their own. So you have a couple of sources of light. The Jaegers are holding the torches, and they hold their swords in their other hand. So you, Snorri, don't have to hold them. Hold the torch if you wish so.
Okay.
Right. You can all see that the thorns are sharp enough to cut through leather, probably. And this whole place is it's moving on its own accord. It's like a living thing, a perversion of life. Fortunately, Otto, you can feel the direction in which you have to go.
Okay.
You don't you say a small prayer to a quick prayer to Ulrich because you don't feel the sigil reacting in any way, like getting warm or buzzing or anything. You just know where to go. But even so, it's very hard to traverse this place because it's very narrow. Yeah. Wait a second. So I would like all of you to make only a single agility test because of the overgrown bushes. And if you pass, everything is okay. All right. Jason, you want to spend luck?
At
All right. So I can see that Snorri passed, but my question is because you guys had minuses, I believe.
I didn't think I had any more minuses. Although I passed.
Otto had -5 only.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine. So Otto passed. So all right. So Jason and Brian didn't pass, and I am going to roll for hunters. First passed. Second passed. Third didn't pass, and Gregor passed. Okay. So my question is, Jason, do you want to spend luck?
not knowing what it's for, I'd say no.
Okay. So in your case, well, first, in case of Vrentar, roll 1d10, 1-5, it will be thorns. 6-10, it will be something else. Thorns. All right, Vrentar, as you are, marching through the maze, you suddenly swayed and fell into the wall of the maze. You can feel the razor sharp thorns just opening your flesh. The funny thing is that you didn't really, fell to the wall with a huge force. You've merely touched it, but the thorns reacted as if you've just, you've slammed into the wall. And so, without into your torso, you only take 6 damage, but of course armor and toughness counts. So I guess it's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
All right. Oh, you also remember that you've lost one of your hammers.
Yeah, I have one hammer now.
Okay. Jason, I want you to roll this as well. 1-5, it's thorns. It's something else. All right, Jason. Francisco. You were walking in single file when suddenly you saw a movement to your right. One of the pale yellow trumpet-like flowers extended itself and sprayed pollen into your face. Well, actually, not only into your face, because it sprayed pollen within 2 yards of you. 2 2 yards is like 2 meters, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So where are you walking, Francisco?
I was after I'm the third in line essentially.
You're third
So
in
I
line.
think So
Otto
Snorri's in front of me.
Snorri was definitely hit. Otto was definitely hit. Actually, okay. What was the distance between you guys?
Well, I have a great sword, so I would actually have some distance between if I'm ever intending to use it.
All right.
Yeah, all three of us have great weapons, and I can tell you Snorri would be trying to get up ahead. So,
okay, so let's make it easier. So only you, Francisco, was sprayed. Let's make it easier. You were blinded by the horrible pollen. You quickly begin to cough. Roll -20 toughness test.
Oof. Okay.
You can see anything. And do you have orientation talent?
I don't think so.
So
No.
you immediately hit the wall again. Because you've been blinded, and you've heard Francisco yelling in surprise and pain. Those of you who looked at what happened saw that he got sprayed by this strange yellow flower, and he blindly stumbled. He blindly stumbles around. That said, Jason, you can roll -30 agility test to avoid hitting the wall.
Okay.
Oh,
Nope.
that's a super botch, so maybe you want to reroll that.
I will reroll that.
Okay.
what? You don't want a super botch?
Yeah. Well, you failed, and this time it's time for thorns, not any more flowers. So you've slammed into one of the hedge maze's walls with your face, I might add.
In your face.
And it's 6. But once again, your toughness and armor. How much toughness and armor do you have on your head?
I have 3 armor and 4 toughness.
So nothing happened. Fortunately, you felt the thorns greedily, extending themselves to cut you, but your armor held them at bay. You've quickly, recovered your composure. Yeah.
That's why they wear big hats in the Empire.
Yeah. After like less than a minute, I guess you guys wait for him to, clean his face. After less than a minute, you can see again, Francisco.
Okay.
But your eyes are stinging. Oh, and finally, I will have to roll for the single hunter who failed his test. Okay. And the single hunter got sprayed as well. But he passed his test. I've rolled a 10. He also got sprayed by the same flower that you were sprayed by, but he managed to shield his face with his arm. Of course, he cursed wildly. But fortunately, aside from the fact that you are now also covered, both of you are covered in this strange, thick yellow, like
Flower
coat
sperm.
of flower sperm, you're all fine. Otto, you are leading them expertly through the maze, and you are going ever deeper into the heart of this horrible place. You don't really know for how long you are traveling. It's
Let me just set it up.
what?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. You are traveling ever deeper. You're going and going. It's hard for you to tell how much time it took before you finally reach the center. Perhaps it took an hour, perhaps it took forever. It's hard to tell, honestly. But eventually, you emerge. You come upon a large clearing with a circular mound of oily blue-black flesh in its center. The mount is about, well, 1 or 2 feet in height and roughly 12 feet in diameter. Several black tendrils or roots extend from the mount and dig into the nearby dirt. The mount occasionally pulses as if alive, and you can see fluids of green and yellow racing through translucent veins just below the surface of its skin. You've entered the clearing almost immediately and saw this, so you're all shocked. You can, you probably you probably curse or say prayers to your gods under your breaths. And almost immediately, the mount opens from its center with a wet, tearing sound, its flesh pulled tight to the outer edge of the circle like a sphincter. And several men emerge from the newly formed hole. And they are as surprised to see you as you are to see them. Because you've just seen someone walk out of a giant mound of bruised flesh. All of the men in question were long dark robes, filthy with excrement and other horrible bodily fluids. They all carry swords and have shields with. In the weak light, you think you can see the strange three-circled sigil that you saw before, including in Villa Hahn itself. And even though they have hoods on their heads, you can see the changes wrought upon them. Mutants, cultists, enemies of everything that is just. You react quickly, as do they. For the grandfather! They croak and rush you as you prepare to rush them. Initiative time. Now, there is a single cultist for each of you, including each of your NPCs. The clearing is large enough that each of you can partake in the fight. But if, for example, one of you would like to help your colleague, then it might be a little bit trickier. Because, like I've said, the clearing is dominated by the huge lump of bruised flesh. Which, by the way, as the cultists are rushing you, closed with a horrible, wet sound. Like... But first we need to roll initiative. So, yeah. So, you know what to do. And I would like someone to, of course, know the initiative order as usual. Sean is 15.
D10 plus agility,
Agility,
right?
yes. Remember about the penalties for wearing armor.
Yeah, I don't understand why it gives me -5 twice, but there you have it.
Well, actually on roll 20 I see that it only gives you once -5, because you have -5 to all tests, remember that.
Oh, okay.
Alright, Brian only has... Okay.
And I added the negative for the armor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the value.
So the cultists are on 41, and I'm going to roll for Jaegers.
Hey, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quickly, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Is armor -5? Is medium armor -5 or -10?
Even a
-5.
single piece of chainmail gives you -10. It gives you -10. Chainmail gives you -10, not -5. So remember that, guys.
Okay, well then that is why I had -10.
Okay, so you should have additional. Actually, sorry, Sean. I'm going to check it if I'm not swindling you.
I should
No,
be 39.
no. You don't have -5 to this because it's only to tests, not to initiative.
Oh.
So
Okay.
you only have -10 from your armor. Vrenter has -10 to his armor, and Jason also have -10 to your armor. In that case, the Jaegers have 50. Oops. And I'm going to roll for Gregor to see. Oh, that's a nice roll. he's got 48. Yeah, because he's got leather. He's got 48. So, who made the initiative notes? It was Andy, right? Probably.
I'm making notes, but what's the order? That's like.
First are the hunters, I believe. No, sorry. First is Andrew.
Okay. Yeah, Snorri's gonna charge.
Wait. Because we are, counting the initiative so that we know who's first, who's second, stuff like that. So
Sorry.
First is Snorri. Second are the Jaegers. Third is Gregor. Fourth is Otto. Then we have the cultists. Then we have Francisco. And finally we have Vrentar.
Okay, cool.
Anyone noted that?
Yeah, I have it.
Thanks, man. So, Snorri, you're first.
Yes, he's gonna charge in.
You're charging one of the cultists.
Yep.
All right, roll.
Okay. Now, does charging give any kind of weapon skill bonus or anything?
Plus 10.
Okay, cool. Well, didn't need it.
Nice. You are delivering a double-handed blow to the man's arm. That said, the man will try and dodge. And quickly check. Yeah, and he managed to just avoid your blow. Barely, but the axe swished past his arm. After that, we have the Jaegers. They are, shouting oaths to Sigmar and Tal, and they are also charging their respective cultists. I would like to remind you that they have torches in their offhands, which means that they don't have free parry. Unfortunately, because torches are improvised weapons, you can't parry with improvised weapons. So first, Jaeger. Nice. He delivers a mighty blow with his, I don't remember if they have axes or swords. Let me just quickly see. Yeah, they have axes. The cultists will try and one of the huntsmen simply chopped the cultist's legs away, both of them, with a single swing of his axe. The cultist fell to the ground, howling in pain. You can, of course, they smell horribly, those vile men. But his blood, the blood gushing from his wounds, even it stinks.
How many cultists are there? I'm not sure you ever said.
He says one for each of
one
us.
for each of you, so there are 8 total. Because there are 4 of you, three Jaegers and Gregor, so 8. Now, of course, only 7. That was first Jaeger, now it's second Jaeger. He misses, unfortunately. His axe was stopped by a cultist's rusty sword.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't make a pun about that's a shot of Jaeger or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's still before me, don't worry. The third hunter managed to hit, but the cultist daftly avoided the blow. Now we have Gregor. Gregor is armed with a sword and a dagger. Oh my god. Okay. I need to open the Holy Apocrypha now. And quickly see the... okay, here they are. 1 two-handed weapons, and let's see, roll the 10. Okay, 6. Alright, someone know that next turn Gregor is last and he can't attack, only parry. You saw that the man almost tripped. Naturally, the ground here is muddy and you have a nasty suspicion that it's muddy not because, of like rain or something like that, but because of, well, perhaps some kind of slime that is just everywhere here. Perhaps, the slime coming from this mold. Gregor almost tripped, but he composed himself just in time. After that, we have Otto. Otto, what are you doing?
If I can, I'm gonna swift attack. So
you can't. You can only charge.
Okay, then I will charge.
Or approach and attack. But like I've said, there's enough place for you to fight one-on-one. But if you would like to help someone, both of you will get minuses.
No, I don't want to help anybody. I just want to go. So.
Screw those bastards.
Yeah. So you're.
Well, no, I just want to because although I'm not using the spell or whatever it is, I've worked myself up into a fury, a frenzy, although not technically not a frenzy. And I was like, Ulrich, I will prove myself to you once again. And
yes, and you
sword around.
You howl like a wolf and you charge. You charge a man. You don't see his face, but you think that he has a mass of tentacles where his face should be, because there's this mass of wriggling things under his hood. Roll for weapon skill plus 10%.
All right, but so only plus 5 because I have that minus 5.
Yeah.
Where the hell is my weapon? There it is. Great, it's a great sword.
So yeah, double.
Oh, son of a bitch!
You've almost managed to hit, but you've misjudged your blow, and your great sword buried itself in the mud in front of the man.
He gets a plus for charging, right?
He gets a plus for charging, but he.
What's his minus?
My minus is only minus 5, right?
Yeah.
So I should make that, right?
Oh, so you've hit.
Plus 5 total.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So your blade flies towards the man's head. Sorry, my bad. Good that you've spotted that. But you are using double-handed weapon. I mean, great weapon, which means that he has plus 10 to dodge and parry.
Okay.
Because your weapon is slow, so he dodges. Parries, dodges. Yeah. They are dodging for this round. All of them are dodging, just so you know. And he dodged. Okay. He just evaded your blow. It was a good blow. It would probably decapitated him, but he was just, despite their obvious sickness, illnesses running their bodies. These men are fast and they are strong. You can see that. Vrentar, you remember the vile scam that ambushed you at the Vorman house, where you've lost Dieter and Leopold Faulebrand. Those men back there, they were also looking sickly, but they were deadly fighters. And these men, they're deadly fighters as well. Anyway, after that, we have the cultists. The cultists will start by raining down blows on those who are already engaged with them. So let's start with Snorri. Snorri, your cultist, begins to hack at you with a hatchet.
Okay.
The first blow goes towards your arm. Are you parrying or dodging? You can't parry because you have a double-handed axe.
Right.
You can dodge.
So he'll dodge.
Yeah.
Which is an agility test, right?
It is an agility test, exactly.
And he passes.
Excellent. You've managed to avoid the blow just in time, but the second strike from the man, fortunately, you've stopped it on the haft of your axe. Now we have you, Otto. Yeah. Your cultist tries to run you with his sword and goes towards your arm. Are you parrying or dodging?
I have a great sword, so I'm assuming I cannot parry. I also charge, so I will dodge blow.
Okay, you're trying to dodge blow. Nice. You've avoided the blow expertly. The second strike misses completely. Good job. Now we have I'm going to do the Jaegers. One Jaeger. Jaeger will try to dodge. They've dodged. Okay, and the second Jaeger. Ooh, dodge. No dodge. One of the huntsmen cried out in pain. You don't know if he's still alive or not. Now the Gregor's fighter is going towards the arm. Gregor will try and parry. Has a pretty good chance of parrying. Okay, my big fat mouth.
Who was it who killed his opponent? So it should be
One of the hunters. One of the hunters.
Okay.
Yeah. Does anyone remember how much health did Gregor had last time?
No.
Okay. All right. So, oh yeah. Sorry, I remember. No worries. Yeah, but you've heard a horrible cry of pain from Gregor Schlossberger as one of the cultists managed to score a lucky hit on him. Gregor is of course cursing, loudly the horrible fiend. He's still in the fight, but yeah. And now the other cultists will charge their enemies. Vrentar, your cultist, charges you, and he manages to hit your arm. Are you parrying or dodging? You don't have enough weapon, I believe. Unless
I only have the one hammer, so I'm not sure I could even parry. I have to dodge.
Well, unless you had the dagger, I think, so you could take that out if you wish so.
Yeah, I have a fish knife, so yeah.
Okay, so you have a fish knife, so you can either dodge or parry with your dagger/fish knife. It's up to you.
I'll try to parry.
Okay, you're trying to defend yourself with the fish knife. Nice. Because I don't think you have any minuses. No, you don't have any minuses. All right, and we have you, Francisco. Rolling the dice, but rolled when he doesn't want to. Okay, maybe one more time. Okay, first roll counts, by the way, so it's 29. The blow goes towards your legs, Francisco. You have a great sword, so I guess you'll try and dodge.
Yes, I'll try dodging.
All right, minus 10 because of the armor, but
Nice.
it's you've simply jumped over the blow. And now, after that, we have Francisco.
All right. So I'm already engaged, so I will do a swift attack.
Excellent. Go for it.
So first attack.
You've missed completely.
Second attack is a hit.
He will try and dodge. You are swinging your Montante sword wildly. The first blow went, too wide, but the second is coming towards his arm, I believe, or chest. I will check shortly. He failed to dodge, so roll 2d10.
Sweet.
All right.
And
I'll take the 10.
oh, reroll with weapon skill, basic weapon skill.
I hit the button.
I guess.
You've passed.
There we go.
2d10 once again.
It's rolling slowly.
Yeah.
7 and a.
I think 7 will suffice, honestly. Yeah, something is with the servers.
7.
7. Huh? It's not a coincidence, I might add. So that was 53. Let me quickly see. All right, you've chopped the man through his right arm and through the top of his torso. Your sword exited through the other side. The man bisected, fell to the ground, without even uttering a single sound. Nice. Vrentar, you're up.
Okay.
You hear Francisco yell something in Estalian.
Ramirez!
It kind of.
What? Sorry, Jason?
I was just going to say it sounds like a cadence of him running through drills.
Okay. Yeah. You can hear Francisco yelling something in his strange foreign language.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Quesadilla. Yeah.
Tortilla chips.
Yeah.
My wife actually used to have a coworker that pronounced them quesadillas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so after that we have Vrentar.
I'll swift attack with the hammer and the fish knife.
Okay. Well, I mean, you are attacking with single weapon, so I guess you're choosing hammer, but, for dramatic sake, we can say that you are raining blows with both of the weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. First attack. You've missed, unfortunately. You are very weak and the pain is overwhelming you. I may add. The second attack, unfortunately, failed. Yeah. Oh, by the way, after this fight, Brian, you will need to once again test toughness
Okay.
for your critical. We have a new round. Snorri, you're first. What are you going to do? Snorri?
Uh-oh. Snorri.
Fell asleep.
He was there just a minute ago. Did he
Yeah.
drop off the call?
Wait a second.
He's still in the roll 20.
No, he is. He is on Skype.
Is he muted?
Maybe he stepped away for a moment.
Yeah. Andy?
Yeah.
Your Snorri. It's now his turn.
Oh, sorry. I thought.
I forgot his name.
No,
What is he talking about?
I didn't hear anybody say Snorri.
Yeah. You're up.
Okay.
Swift attack.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, did you kill your opponent last time, or,
No.
or no, he dodged. That's right.
Yeah. Your
Any-
first swing goes wild. The man is just avoiding your blows. Your second swing.
Oh no, not swift attack. He only has one attack.
So you only have one attack. So that's not. So my
Yeah, not swift. Sorry,
Yeah.
no, just a
attack and parry maybe.
Yeah, if he can he do that with a great weapon?
You can parry with anything you want, but unless you, for example, if you had couple attacks and you had the swift parry option, you could like use 2 of the 3 attacks to attack, and then the third attack would go for your parry. But normally you can always attack and parry. So
Parrying stance is a half action, and then your other action will be just a basic attack.
yeah,
I think that's how it goes.
yeah. I mean, half action for attack, half action for parrying. Okay, so you are trying to strike the man with your axe while also trying to defend yourself from him. Nice. After that, we have I believe the Jaegers.
Yes.
Yeah, the Jaegers. They will. First one will, unfortunately, fail to connect, but they do have 2 attacks, I believe. No, and the second one. Second one, I think, managed to hit. I do have them on a few pages, which are. Oh, they only have a single attack. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, he missed because that was that was the second. And so the third one will approach one of his comrades and help him, but he will get minuses for that. Yeah, unfortunately, that failed. Okay, now we have Gregor, I believe.
Yeah,
So, oh yeah, he's last and he can only parry. So scratch that. Sorry, he's not doing anything. After Gregor, we have Otto. Otto, it's you.
Okay. I think again, muttering prayers to Ulrich, I will do a swift attack and try to do 2 attacks.
You don't want to make a single attack and a parry?
No.
Okay. So that's very Ulrican. So cool. Okay, I like that. So you are muttering prayer to Ulrich and just raise your sword high, roll.
Fail.
Yeah, first one failed. The second one minus 10.
So that would be minus 15 total.
Yep.
God damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're just trying too hard to swing the sword. The sword is very heavy, and it's dark here, even with the torches. And you can swear that the man with the tentacles for his face is just inhumanly fast. Clearly a boon from his vile demonic god.
Yeah.
And now it's time for said man to give you bedtime. Let's start with you, Sean.
Okay.
Both of his attacks miss. Ulrich is with you. One of them missed completely. The other you've managed to stab with the cold steel of your holy blade. Now we have Vrentar. You're trying to kill the blasphemer, but the blasphemer also tries to kill you with a. I believe he has some form of bladed weapon. You don't really see in this light. Okay, but let's just make this a bit more interesting.
Stab himself in the dick.
Yeah, his dick has rotten off long time ago. Yeah, and that's the same thing as with Gregor. So essentially, this strike was over enthusiastic. He exposed himself, but using momentum, he delivers the second strike. And second strike hits. By the way, note that one of the cultists will be last in the next turn, and he can only parry. And that's the cultist fighting Vrentar. That said, Vrentar, the blow comes towards your arm. Are you going to parry or dodge?
1 second, I'm writing this down. He can only parry next turn?
Yes, and he's last in the initiative order.
Okay, I'm going to parry.
Okay. You're parrying with a knife,
Nice.
and you've deflected the blow with your trusty fish knife. Now we have Snorri. Snorri, your doom calls to you, but this man is a vile scum, and he's not worthy of it. So he naturally hits you in the chest. Are you going to parry or dodge?
He'll dodge first.
Okay, yeah, because you have a high agility. Okay, I get that. Let's see.
No.
Okay, unfortunately not. So that's total 8 points of damage.
2?
To go through. So you're on critical. -1, I believe.
No, I meant to where?
To the chest.
To the chest. Okay. And you said 2 went through?
No, I mean 8
No,
total.
No,
8 total.
8 total.
8 total.
Oh, okay, 8 total. So he's got a toughness bonus of 5, so we're down to 3.
Okay.
And then he's got 1 point of armor.
So
1 point of leather armor, so 1.
Okay.
But it is still critical because he was on 1 wound, so.
Yeah, so it's -1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess you take the crit. In that case,
Yep.
it's time for you to get an insanity point.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll on the table. It's a bladed weaponry. It's rather high, but it's only -1, so... oh, okay. Okay, wow. Didn't know that you could get that, honestly. Kinda shocked. I need to return bladed cutting damage. Yeah. Okay. So your weapon sliced into your groin, causing dramatic bleeding and stunning you for. Let me see. 2 turns only. You're stunned for 2 turns.
Okay.
You suffer a penalty of -10% to all tests for the remainder of the battle due to the pain. Roll D100. 150, yes. I mean 150. You lose you are sterile essentially.
Man, you like going for his groin.
Slinger.
This is like the 3rd time.
The weapon sliced cleanly through your balls and pecker. You've been emasculated, unfortunately.
This is why he has no fate points, because you kept doing this to me last game.
I know. I remembered that you've taken fate point to avoid being castrated, but unfortunately now, well, the vile cultist blade found its mark, and Snorri lost his balls.
my control about this.
Interestingly, if you would be playing female, you would only have 10% chance for that, and you would be stunned only for D10 divided by 2 turns. So yeah, you hear a howl of pure agony from Snorri. It's a sound of someone who lost everything, of someone who lost the most important part of his being.
Beard.
Yes, clearly beard. Yeah. So that was first strike, I believe, from him, or second. Yeah. And now, since you are stunned, he will deliver a second strike. It hits your leg, and you can't do anything, unfortunately, because you are stunned. But there is a chance for him to, well, 10 points total to the leg, to the. 8.
So 3 make it through, right? 4 make it through.
So you're -4?
Yep.
Alright, it's your left leg. Again, another insanity point.
Okay.
And let's see this. It's not nothing bad. -4? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I've rolled 0, 2. So it's only the first like. The flat of his blade struck your shin. Roll -10% willpower, -20 total.
Which he failed, and then his second one is also failed, so he goes into a rage as well.
Alright, you've dropped your weapon, and you quickly, entered into a berserker rage. Even the loss of your groin is not able to quench your fury. You've dropped your weapon, but you have to spend until the end of your next turn hopping on one leg, swearing and grasping your bruised shin, losing 1 half action while thus occupied.
Okay, hold on, let me see how many rounds I'm in a rage.
Good thing, that means you're no longer stunned. But...
For 9 rounds.
For 9 rounds. And how exactly does rage work?
It's just a bunch of negative modifiers, and I'm just as likely to attack my friends as my enemies. But I think in this point, he's got somebody striking him. That's probably where it would be focused, and that's it.
Okay, and you were on -4 with that crit, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I actually given you the better version of the critical, but let's stick with it. It will be better for you. All right. So you have to attack either friend or foe, but you can choose foes, right? If there are within your striking distance.
It actually doesn't say. It just says he's just as likely to. So yeah, I would assume that
you can choose foes first. Okay, you can choose foes.
Yeah, especially because there's one in this particular case anyway. It's like there's one right in front of him.
That said, you are helpless currently because you've dropped your weapon. But fortunately, next round you will be first in initiative again, so you'll be able to pick it up. But this will be your only action because you have a single half action. All right, that was what? That was we've done Sean's cultist, right? We've done Brian's cultist. We've done Andrew's cultist. Jason killed his. So now we have Gregor's and the 2 Jaegers. Okay, so I'm going to do the Jaegers first. First cultist goes for the head. The Jaeger will try and dodge. Failed. Okay. 3 doors. So it's 7 total. Okay. Second blow. Second blow, I think, actually managed to hit. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh no, it's actually a bot. All right. Someone ride off another cultist, one of the hunters. Even though he got struck in the head by the Vilefin's blade, managed to bury his hatchet in said Vilefin's throat. killing him on the spot. So that's 3 cultists down. And now we go to another one. Okay, he will dodge. Dodged. Yep, and this he can dodge.
Alright, there's also a cultist that can't do anything.
Yeah, okay. And finally we go to Gregor. He can only parry. Which I think he managed to do so. He has a shield. Oh. He failed with a botch. My god, so many botches today. So, Gregor will get his comeuppance, but he also... Okay, someone note that next turn he can also only parry. Assuming that he will survive that blow. Oh. Yeah, about that. 14... you've heard, a string of curses coming from Gregor Schlossberger as he fought with his vile attacker. String of curses which ended abruptly, unfortunately, as the cultist buried his wide-bladed weapon in his collarbone, slicing all the way down into the lungs and other internal organs and killing the hapless thief. So unfortunately Gregor Schlossberger is out of action permanently. So after that we have, I believe, Francisco.
Alright, can I get a count of how many cultists?
You have to spend a single action for that.
Alright, well I'm going to attack the cultist who is attacking Otto.
So you approach the cultist attacking Otto and deliver a single strike. You have a minus 10% for that.
A minus 10%?
Yes, because like I said before, if you are fighting 2 against 1 here, you are getting minus modifiers. There's not enough space and you are using a great weapon.
Oh, okay.
But mainly because of the space.
Is there anybody else around?
You have to make a test.
Alright, well then I'm just going to attack that, the one in front of me then, with Otto.
You are approaching the cultist fighting with Otto. So you strike on your basic weapon skill because plus 10, minus 10. So go for it. Nice, it's going to the head. And... yeah, but he will try to dodge.
Did he already do it? Oh,
Otto is before him, so he could have dodged without any problems. Because... yeah, actually, sorry.
Well, did he just botch his dodge roll?
Yeah, I mean, Jason killed him, but I was just thinking... Yeah, Jason, you were right. I don't remember if Otto hit him, though. But it doesn't really matter, but thank you for reminding me.
Okay.
Because your blow simply bisected the vile creature's head. Otto, the fiend, falls to the ground, dead. With Montante, buried deep into his neck, cloven into.
My kill.
And after that we have Rentar, the poor Sigmarite priest. Rentar.
Having a bad day.
Yeah, very bad day. But
hey, at least you still got your junk.
But as the elite Nordland Mariners used to say, the only day was yesterday. And so you are preparing to deliver some swift Sigmarite justice Are you making a swift attack? Are you...
Yeah, I'll make a swift attack.
Okay, roll. First,
Nope.
misses horribly. Second, 69. I was waiting for that. Misses also horribly. And after that, we have new round. Snorri, you can only hop
And pick up my
single
axe.
legs. The place where your groin used to be is just in flame. You feel that that you won't be the same ever again. You pick up your axe and you prepare to kill this son of a bitch. After that, we have the Jaegers. The Jaegers, two of whom actually fight a single cultist. First miss, second his colleague. Whoa, it goes to the groin.
Take that.
Yeah, so it did there.
They must have a thing against Slaanesh worshippers or something.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. D20. My bad. Okay, and the other one. Nice. Okay, so it goes. Damage goes. Ooh, nice. Let's reroll this. Okay. Wow, the Jaegers are on fire. All right. Essentially, another one of the hunters, you don't really know which, just chopped his cultist into small pieces with his axe. So another cultist goes down. And now we would have Gregor, but he has the nasty case of being dead, and so we actually go to the cultists. Let's start with Rentars this time. Rentar, your cultist is trying to give you bad time. The blow goes towards your arm. Are you parrying or dodging?
Parrying.
Parrying. Okay, very nice. Let's see. That's if you would be using the standard rules for 2nd edition, that would be a botch. I would like to remind you. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Like 97 to 100 is a botch in 2nd edition. That's just a bit of useless knowledge. Let's see the damage. 10 total to the arm.
10 to the arm.
Yeah.
I got 5 toughness, 3 on the arm, so 2 gets through.
2 gets through, so you're on -1, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. So you have to take a crit. Insanity point and test immediately.
Okay.
So you have 10 already. Let's see. So you can erase all of your insanity points and you gain a mental insanity. Insanity. But I'm going to tell you about this after the game. And now let's see. You are on -1, right? So -1 or -2?
To the arm.
Okay. -1 or -2, Brian? I don't remember.
I already had 1, so it would be -1.
Okay, cool.
I thought it reset back to 0 after every.
Yeah, you can't be below, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, you
And
are.
then at
You
the
are.
end of combat, it goes back to 1.
You are always on 1. But we've counted this right. So Brian is on -1. I mean, he's right now on -1 after being struck, of course. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I've rolled 19. That's still only a 1. That's very nice. So, and we shall see, this is of course cutting weapon to your arm. And your arm has been nicked, causing some bleeding. That makes your grip slippery. At the start of your next turn, you must make a -20 weapon skill test or lose either one attack or one free parry, depending on what you were holding in that hand. And that hand was 25, so 52. So let me quickly see. Actually, shit.
Yeah, which arm was it?
Right arm.
Okay, that would be my hammer.
Yeah, your hammer. So you might lose one single attack, but that was only the first attack by this horrible man. And now he'll make his second attack. He missed. He missed with his second attack. Fortunately, you've desperately managed to block his second strike with your fish knife. Now, Snorri, you're fighting against your fiend, I believe, still.
Yep.
He's taunting you. He's laughing at you. You are enraged. That said, you are no longer helpless, but he does manage to strike you in the leg. And now let me quickly see one thing. Well, as funny as that sounds, you can dodge actually.
Okay.
But let me quickly see one thing, because you were hit pretty nastily into your groin. Yeah, you have -10% to dodging, by the way.
Which I actually somehow passed. So.
Excellent. And now he will make his second attack. This goes towards your arm.
Jesus.
Yeah, cultists are hardcore apparently.
Too bad it didn't go to your balls again. They would have missed.
Let's see. 8 points total to your left arm, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so
no, your right arm. I'm sorry, your right arm.
3 would go through. Right, 8. Or wait, 2 would go through. 2 would go through.
2 would go through. Another insanity point for you. How many do you have right now?
4.
Oh, okay. So two are going through, right?
Yes.
Okay. Roll D100. Ooh. Okay, 70. Okay. It's right arm. Need to quickly roll. Alright, the man reversed the grip on his blade. He essentially marked his first strike. He knew that you would dodge. His second strike hit home and severed 4 of your fingers of the right hand. Roll minus 20% willpower test, which is minus 30% total right now for you.
Minus 40 because I get another 10. Minus 10 for the rage.
Okay, minus 40.
So it's 5 or less.
In that case, you are stunned until the end of your next turn. Well, you've lost more than 2 fingers, so anything held in that hand is dropped, as well as it can no longer be used to hold any weapons. Any tasks requiring fine manipulation performed with that hand in the future suffer a minus 5 penalty to any such test per finger lost, with no task at all possible if the whole hand has been lost. If the whole hand has been severed, your opponent will suffer a penalty of minus 10% to all tests for the remainder of the battle. So you have a total of minus 20% to any tests made with that hand in the future, assuming that you survive. You do lose your weapon, unfortunately. It falls to the ground because 4 of your fingers have been cut. What's that sound?
I was like,
I was typing.
Okay. Yeah, so that was second strike. Now, after that, I believe we only have the last remaining cultist fighting the 2 Jaegers. So he redistributes attacks, one each. Well, the Jaeger will try and dodge. He passed, and the second strike failed completely. After that, we have who's after that?
I think it's Otto.
Otto, yeah. Oh, so Otto is after the Cultists. So the Cultists were able to dodge earlier. Okay, that was what I was thinking. Okay, Otto, you're up. You once again, the stream of invectives coming from Snorri's mouth was once again interrupted by a horrible scream of furious pain. Some of you might even be able, might have even seen the fingers flying into the air from his right hand. Yeah. Otto, you're now.
All 5 of them, right?
4.
Well, that 5th one.
Oh yeah. the 21st finger. Okay. Yeah.
He's saving his tone back on. So I believe the only cultist I would have access to, correct me if I'm wrong, is the one that just chopped Snorri's fingers off. Because he was standing sort of next to me.
Yeah. That's it. You want to approach and help Snorri?
Yes, because mine is dead, right?
Yes. Francisco killed him with a single blow to the head.
So I guess that would mean I would have to approach and
strike. Yeah, you have minus 10% like I've discussed earlier, but you have plus 10% from Snorri.
Okay. All right. So I will attack. Zoinks! And apparently it's thinking about rolling dice.
Yeah. Who's moving stuff?
Woohoo!
Whoa.
I almost feel like that's the first time I've hit with this character.
Okay. Okay, so he will try and dodge.
Is somebody on speakerphone? That sounds what it's like.
I'm on mute.
Yeah, it's on speaker.
Yeah, it sounds like someone is moving stuff in the background. I don't know, but...
my wife is upstairs with a dog. I'd like to hear that.
Okay.
It sounds like somebody's doing something in the room with somebody.
Yeah. Well, now it stopped. It's fine. Right, Sean, roll damage because the laughing villain tried to touch your strike, but you've managed to land it home. So 2d10, pick the highest. Always pick the highest.
Okay. Hold on a second here. 2d10. Zoinks. Why'd I do that?
Yeah.
I see what I did. So 3 and 1. So I'll take the 3.
You take 3 plus your strength.
So that's 7.
7 total.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you've nicked the man's torso, opening, his disgusting robes and opening his pale, bloated body. You swore that in the weak light of the torches you saw something yellow and pussy emerging from the wound. The man didn't even yelped in pain. It's as he didn't even felt the blow, unfortunately. After that we have Francisco.
Yeah, so that's why I asked, because auto attacks before I do, so that's...
Yeah.
Francisco is going to attack the next cultist, whether he's got a person on him or not.
So you can approach the cultist fighting with Snorri and Francisco, but again you gain additional minus 10 because you are trying to gang up on him, but there's really not enough space, mainly because of the bruised thingy in the middle. So you gain a minus 15% modifier, but you gain plus 10% from Snorri, plus 10% from Otto, so you have plus 5%.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And he can do anything. Well, actually, he can parry because they do have weapons in their off hands, but he's not going to. Roll 2d10 damage. Nice.
Take the 8.
8. And
so my strength is 4, but I also have strike mighty blow, so that would be 13.
13 total. Right, but yeah, and well, you've just chopped a huge portion of his arm, the man both yelled in pain but also laughed hoarsely, and he's not stopping. He's still standing. That's horrible. We have finally Vrentar. Multiple attacks.
I guess I'm gonna. Yeah.
Okay. Roll. First attack. You
I don't
are
think I've
missing.
landed an attack with it.
Yeah, you are missing with your hammer horribly. You're just, too much in pain. The cultist manages to avoid or deflect every single one of your strikes while simultaneously trying to stab you. Now we have new round. Snorri. You are,
I'm
I
stunned
believe,
for this
still
round,
stunned.
yeah.
You are just looking in shock at what lies, in front of you to the side. We are talking about your fingers. You can also feel your, your cut off bottom appendage sliding down your trousers to the ground, just sliding down along your short leg. It's horrible, but
Is it okay if we take like a 5 minute before we get into this turn?
yeah. So after Snorri, let's now take 5-minute break, and we'll be back soon.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, who's back?
I never left.
Oh, okay. I've got a bunch of kind of clean in my basement, and I have a bunch of really old, I guess not really old, well, probably really old Warhammer bits and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Like still on sprues. I was gonna see if Brian wants them for the train, or you, or anybody else. I could just mail them.
What do you got?
Well, it looks like I got some 40k tanks sprues. It looks like it's leftovers from a Land Raider Crusader. So it's like the laser guns,
Yeah.
las cannons. Since the Crusader didn't have, it was way back when they had like metal attachments. And I got some like extra sprues of Dark Eldar, and I have like the Eldar and the Eldar. Oh man, what are these things called? Not the Warwalker, but the tall giant thing.
Dreadnoughts, whatever they're called, Wraith Lords.
Yeah, Wraith Lords, and by the time I'm done, I'm gonna have stuff all over the place. Just a bunch of random things. So I can either pitch them or give it to somebody who can actually use it. Because
That's the kind of stuff that Brian probably really could use, like with terrain and stuff, because you can always have vehicle bits and stuff scattered everywhere.
Yeah, helmets and guns just laying around. I probably have a couple shoebox worths of just things on bits.
I wish I had that little.
Well, I probably have more. So, like, as I go through, I got a bunch of Warhammer stuff too. Like, some of it's not even made. I have like old Empire crossbowmen / handgunners plastics. Let's see. I got like knights, like leftover knights stuff.
If you got any Bretonian plastics, I would absolutely be interested in that.
Like old stuff. Man, I got like old stuff.
The multi-part Bretonian plastics. I mean, see, the problem is, those are still 12 or 14 years old at this point. So, yeah. It depends on what you mean by old stuff.
I mean, like, I can't even think of the edition. It was the starter set with Bretonians versus Lizardmen.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably a little older than but I would be interested for Bretonian plastics.
I'm trying to think. That's at least 20 years old.
Yeah, that would have been 96 or no.
Yeah.
Probably near that. I want to say like 97 or 98ish.
Now they had some really cool Grail Knights. Like their metal Grail Knights were superb. And their Bretonian metal infantry was really good, like the halberdiers and spearmen.
Yeah, they did some plastics that were very similar, although a little different. But the style was there, and those they never sold great, which is why they got discontinued. But they're like ridiculously useful for stuff.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where I wish they had some kind of notice that they were going to discontinue them, because I'd have bought like 6 boxes of them.
Yeah. See, that's what I kind of lost interest with the later Warhammer armies. Was like the Bretonian used to have like paladins on foot, and their models, their metal models back then just looked amazing, and then their latest infantry models kind of looked crappy to me. It felt like they reduced the number of units. But they kind of did that across the board in lieu of creating more races.
Well, what happened is they realized that other companies were filling their gaps, and so like they kind of realized, well, if we're not going to make models for it anytime soon, let's get rid of them so that other companies can't beat us to it. Because then people might start buying more from that company instead of us.
So they discontinued like Bretonian Knights on Foot because they could just buy any historic miniature and be like, these are my Knights on Foot.
Yeah. Essentially. I mean, that's the quick and dirty method or explanation.
Yeah, I can see why they did that, but it just felt like the armies just got very simple. A lot simpler. Like the old metal great swords, I think look way better than like the plastic kits that they came out with later for Empire.
Which metal greatswords are you talking?
They look like Gothic. They're the ones. Jeez.
Not so. The first ones were like these Lance Connect guys, and then the second round were probably the ones you're referring to, where they were a little more grim looking. They had a lot more like leather armor and stuff on them.
Yeah, like most of them had maybe 75% plate. Then like one sleeve would be the big fluffy one. Okay. I think it's the latest metal ones.
Yeah, those are one of my favorite kits. Although I do like the current plastics too. But yeah, that was a good metal kit. I like that.
I got a bunch of them. When I saw that like they were selling good on eBay or selling at a decent price, I bought a bunch. So I have way too many of them. But they're all painted and look pretty, so I'm probably not gonna get rid of them.
Nah, no reason to. You spent all that time working on them.
Yeah. But yeah, just kind of going through and wanting to like get rid of it, and I just don't want to pitch it, so I'd rather give it to you or Brian or whoever would want to take them. As far as the bits go. Space Marines, I got sprues with bolters and pouches and shoulder pads and helmets.
Oh man, I have an entire company's worth of Space Marines.
Yeah.
I've only got about a third of them painted.
Got old Terminator hammers and storm shields. And
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I
have a Terminator guy that doesn't have any arms that I got somewhere. I'm like, shit, where am I gonna get the arms for it?
I got arms for you. Oh, I do have Bretonnian. Again, it's the old version, but it's the helmets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The shields. Well, I think the shields are. Yeah, the shields are Bretonnian shields.
Cool.
A few of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I've right now. Well, theoretically, I'm working on Skaven. I've been on this 3D printing jag, so I've been doing that mostly lately.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been printing up dungeon stuff, and then it's weird though. I switched to trying to print sci-fi things, and all of a sudden, my PLA won't stick to my bed anymore. And like every time I try to print this. I'm thinking of trying to print something else sci-fi because it's just this one thing I'm trying to print just will not. It fails every time, and so like I was printing dungeon stuff, no problems. I switched to sci-fi stuff, it won't stick to the bed. So then I print some add-ons for the printer to hold the bed on better and do some stuff. Those I have a little bit of trouble, but I think get it figured out. Then I go back this morning to try to print this shit again, and it's just like a puddle of plastic on the thing stuck to the nozzle and going around going bzz, 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 and like,
do you model the stuff you make or just download it?
No, I bought a bunch because they were having several sales actually at the end of last year, and then of course with coronavirus they've had some more sales, so I was like, yeah, let me,
Did you do that Humble Bundle one last month?
I did do that Humble Bundle one. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had already bought some of the files from Fat Dragon that they had on there, but I was like, there was a lot of good stuff on there.
Well, and at the end, I think it was like $15 for the whole set. So it's like, even if you've already bought half of it, the other half of it is still worth more than $15 if you want to buy it at some point later.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I ended up doing it.
I'm here.
Like, cool stuff. But yeah, so anyway, so it's just been kind of like, it's like, hey, it works, yay, and then fuck, it doesn't work. I have no idea why. so it's been an adventure. So that was one of the things I did this morning before helping my son with his crap was, hey, look at this, it's not working still. Awesome.
Everyone's here?
I don't think Brian's back yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, you're
Okay.
All right, cool.
So I guess we can return. That was Cultist fighting with Rentar? No, sorry, that was...
Story.
No, we stopped. We
okay.
stopped at my turn, so nothing has come after me hopping around.
Yeah. So now it's time for the Jaegers. And the Jaegers are all fighting a single Cultist. So, first one.
Kick his ass.
Okay, he will try and...
First, we kick your face.
No. So wait a second. Okay. But unfortunately, as strange as that may sound, the three men are unable to smash through the defenses of this horrible person, of this traitor to all humanity. After that, we have, I believe, the cultists themselves, because Gregor is no longer with us. So, first, let's go with Rentar. Rentar, the cultist, fights you, but you are fortunately managing to keep him at bay with your weapons and skill. You've almost got cut on the leg, but you are dancing away. And now I believe that Snorri, Francisco, and Otto are all fighting a single cultist, right?
Yes.
In that case, I'll roll d6 and see which one of you he will strike. Snorri, unfortunately, it's you. So you are still stunned?
Yes,
Okay.
till the end of this next turn.
Okay. So wait a second. I don't think he managed to hit, but I need to quickly check attacking a stun.
If this is the time where he missed, I'm gonna laugh.
I think that it might be. Just let me see. This. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's plus 20. Yeah, he missed. He missed. The first strike missed. The second strike missed.
Well, he is being triple teamed, so.
Yes, and now we have well, I mean, the man tried to finish the job, and he raised his weapon to kill you, Snorri, but your comrades were there, and they've managed to stop him from doing so by just shooting you with their own weapons. Otto and Francisco saved your life, and now it's Otto's turn. Otto, what are you going to do? You have only plus 10% from Francisco because Snorri is not fighting. He's stunned.
Okay.
So you have plus 10% minus 15% total.
Okay, I'd like to do swift attack then and get 2 attacks in.
Actually, you have minus 15% plus minus 5% that you have to all tests. So I believe that's minus 10% total to your first strike and minus 20 to your second strike. Go for it.
Okay, let's go for it.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice.
Okay. And so let's see. He'll try and jump away from that. He managed to jump away from that. You've almost taken his legs from under him, but there's your second strike.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
Nice.
Yay.
Roll damage to d10. Your second strike goes towards his arm. Towards his right arm, I might add.
So, let's see. Hopefully we get a good one. That's pretty good. I'll take the 9. So, and I forgot my whatchamahoo's last time, so I actually do plus 5 to that, so 14 damage.
Alright. Well, your second strike simply bisected the man from his collarbone to his hip. He fell to the ground, gurgling horribly, dead. And then you've just, delivered probably some witty one-liner after killing the fiend.
Francisco gives an 80s action movie nod of approval.
or the Hollywood.
You drop your sunglasses down to the tip of your nose.
Yeah, or the most popular handshake,
Yes. The bro
Yep.
shake.
the bro shake.
With my flat top exposed.
Yeah. After that, we have Francisco, I believe.
Francisco's gonna turn to find the next available cultist and
Ro-
move to attack.
Okay, roll as a free action. Roll perception.
All right. Perception. I did not percept.
In that case, you can approach the cultist fighting Vrentar.
Okay.
Because he's the one closest to you. So you can
Okay.
only, in this turn you can only approach him. So you approach an attack.
Yep.
Like I said before, it's minus 10% plus 10%, so it's your basic weapon skill.
Okay. Swinging.
Nice.
Yes. It's a hit.
The cultist sees you coming and tries desperately to avoid the blow, and he manages to do so. He jumps away. After that, we have none other than Vrentar himself. Vrentar, you are being
Two
helped
attacks.
by the Estelian. 2 attacks. You're raising your hammer high,
Nope.
and you are missing completely with first strike.
Jesus.
And with your second strike, the pain of your wounds is getting to you, unfortunately. New round, we have Snorri,
Okay.
which, you've managed to compose yourself, but I think you are still enraged, right?
Yes. So he would probably, he'd probably draw a knife.
Mm-hmm.
He would have a knife since he can't with his left hand. With his right hand essentially being a thumb and some bloody stumps. He would probably, while screaming curses about how dare you deny me my death, probably charge anything he could see.
Okay, so in that case...
And I use the term charge with air quotes.
Yeah. So in that case, roll perception. If you manage to pass, you'll be able to charge a cultist. If you manage to fail, you'll charge one of your friends.
Okay.
Well, of course, with all the
Perception.
modifiers that you have.
So let's see. Perception is an intelligence, so there's a negative 10 to that, and then there was a negative 10. Wasn't there a negative 10 for him being hurt?
Yes, from the critical.
Right. So that would be minus 20, which would still be a pass.
All right, you can charge either the cultist fighting with Vrentar and Francisco, or charge, approach and attack, not charge, or approach and attack the cultist fighting with 3 Jaegers.
I'll do the one that's only got 2 on him, because there's
Alright.
more likely to be space there.
So again, minus 15% for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, but you get plus 10% for both of them. So it's like plus 5%, but then there are your modifiers, which are
Right,
plus...
which is a negative 10% for being raged, plus it's 10% for the...
Yeah, so it's minus 15 total, and I think you still managed to hit.
Yep.
He already dodged, so roll damage. That said, that's your knife. Oh, remember one thing. You are striking with your offhand.
Ah.
And striking with your offhand means... it's minus 20, additional minus 20.
So that would still be 30. Wait, striking with your offhand is 20 by itself?
No, it's minus 20.
Minus 20 total, so I would still hit.
Yeah, you're still hitting. Okay, roll for damage.
And as a knife, is it is there strength bonus to that? Or
Strength
is it...
minus 4, I believe.
Okay, what's my strength?
Let me
It's
quickly
4,
check.
so it would just essentially be a
I
D10.
thought it was just a initial. Oh, that's first edition. Never mind.
Strength minus 3, sorry.
Strength minus 3? Okay. So I have a 4 strength bonus, so
Then
a D10?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 10 total in that case, because you have 4 4 points of... Wait. Yeah. 4 strength plus 9
Right.
is 13. Minus 3 because it's a dagger, so it's 10 total. But you are striking the man in the head. And...
Do you have strike mighty blow or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Unfortunately, he wasn't wounded before, but he is now. You, Vrentar and Francisco, you see something incredible. A ragged, funnily moving dwarf, spitting curses, just jumps towards the cultist, brandishing a knife, and opens a horrible gash on the side of his head. The man screams in agony and terror because the dwarf is literally just, like cursing him, throwing insults at him, just spitting everywhere, and you can see that the blow was a very powerful one. This man's entire left side of the head has been just opened up. Part of his ear is missing. The stream of filthy blood is just obscene. But unfortunately he is still standing. That said, now we have the Jaegers who are fighting their own fiend. And okay, the fiend will try and dodge. Okay, he dodged. Second Jaeger. Okay, with plus 20 minus 2 basic. So I think they fail. And the third Jaeger. And they can't break through his defenses apparently. Okay, so now it's his turn to react. He strikes one of them with 2 attacks. No. No. And now it's your turn. You guys are fighting. 3 of you are fighting him. So once again, he will decide who to attack by me rolling a d6, and he will attack you, Otto.
Awesome.
Howling in pain and fury, he just lashes at you with his blade, and he manages to land a blow on your arm. Are you parrying or dodging? If you are dodging, you have minuses.
Oh, can I parry?
Oh yeah, you can parry because you have double-handed weapon. Sorry, yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna dodge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna dodge. So I get -5 already, right?
For your mayo, you get -10. You +/- for
Okay,
what
so
you
minus
have.
15.
Plus additional -5 for the press of body, so to speak. And
Okay, so -20.
yeah.
Nope.
Luck.
Yeah, I'll use a luck. I haven't
Okay.
used one yet.
Sure. First luck goes.
Nope.
At least it wasn't a batch.
Yeah.
12 total.
Fucking hell. Okay. That was at my legs, you say?
No, it was your arm, and let me just quickly tell you, 24 is your left arm.
Oh, okay. That's the one with the damaged mail on it.
Oh,
So that would be, you said 12, so 6 get through, so that would be -5.
all right. Well, the cultist knows that he is dead, that he is dying, but he wants to take at least one of you with him. So he delivers a devastating blow to Otto. Otto, I guess you are taking the crit?
Yeah.
Okay, so insanity point for you.
Okay.
How many do you have now?
1, because I went insane last time.
Oh, which insanity do you have? Because I
I thought it was religious
Zero.
fanatic.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So let's see, -5. Well, the blow unfortunately lands true, and the weapon drives cleanly through your shoulder near the junction between body and neck, and continues deep into your chest cavity. You you're surprised. You look with surprise as you stare at. I mean, you can only stare at surprise as you slide slowly off the cultist blade and into oblivion, dying inevitably after short time. So, unfortunately, you need to spend a fate point to just to just avoid death. Which is another insanity point, I might add, because you are spending fate point to avoid death. The blade, the cultist blade, you Snorri and Francisco, you could swear that it killed Otto, but there was this rush of cold air, of ice, and Otto was just thrown back beyond your field of vision. Second attack, the cultist's second strike just goes wild into the air. After that, we have Francisco, because Otto is out of action.
All right, I'm going to swift attack this guy. I'm going to use one attack as a parry next turn.
You have this trait, right?
I do. Actually, never mind. I'm going to just attack him with both. I do have it, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to attack him twice.
Okay, no worries. Sure.
So... Okay, so I don't have to do the math.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a hit.
That's a hit, but he will try and dodge. And just let me quickly check.
Can he dodge? Because
Yes.
use the dodge against me?
It was his turn right before. So his dodge meter reset. When it's he dodged, he tried to dodge your strike, but then it was his turn, so now he can once again dodge.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought it was just per actual, like, game turn.
No.
Okay.
It's until your next turn. And
so he won't be able to dodge your next attack.
Yes,
Snorri.
that's why Snorri managed to land the blow. The cultist didn't dodge the knife attack. Unfortunately, he dodged your strike, Francisco, but there's the second one. You raise Montante high and drop it.
And I miss.
And you miss completely. But there's still Vrentar.
Who's organizing his box.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attack twice and start screaming for Sigmar.
Alright.
First one's a no.
No. Yes.
Oh, finally I hit.
Roll damage.
For Sigmar! Nope.
How much?
I have a strength of 5,
So it's 11.
I have strike mighty blow.
It's 12. That was.
I do not have strike mighty blow.
It's 11.
Yeah,
still.
I do. Yeah, I do have strike mighty blow.
That was enough.
It's 12.
Francisco, you've occupied the cultist long enough for Vrentar to just smash his entire side with a single blow from his hammer. And with the villain falling to the ground dead, vomiting blood, and cursing you, with his dying, gurgling breath, you descend upon the final cultist that is fighting the 3 Jaegers, and you just annihilate the man in an orgy of bloodshed and violence. The most violent of all of you is, of course, Snorri. That took a single turn. Snorri, how many turns did you have left of your rage?
About 5.
And unfortunately, Snorri turns his weapons at you. As soon as he pulled the knife from the dying cultist's guts, he looked at...
Four. Sorry.
He looked at you, howled something about, being denied a glorious death. You can see a horrible red patch where, in the middle of his trousers. You can see that his right hand has only a single finger, the thumb. You can see madness in his eyes as he jumps at you and begins to swing his knife. So we are still...
Actually,
yeah, sorry.
Real quick, because and I'm not trying to change your narrative. I do think, though, that based on the nature of his current career, if it was possible for him to attack the thing that they came out of.
Good
If
choice.
he,
Yeah. All right. That's.
I think he would. I think he would prefer to do that because that is going to be some kind of monstrous thing,
Yeah.
right? So to die against that is better than dying against some silly humans. But if you think that he wouldn't recognize that, I'm totally fine with.
No, actually, that's a very good explanation, Andy. Seriously. Yeah, that's
Because
wow.
in fact, had he not raged after he killed, had he not raged and managed to kill a cultist, he would have charged that. Then. So.
Okay, so you see with some amazement that Snorri just jumps at the mound of flesh and begins to stab it furiously with his knife. And Snorri, the skin of the mound is tough, so you must really work at cutting through it, and you are quickly, covered in pus and blood and other disgusting goo. The mount doesn't fight back, but loud gurgling can be heard every time you hack at it, and perhaps inspired by your fury, the Jaegers also join in and begin to hack at it with their axes. This is just so violent and also so disturbing because you are just attacking an unnatural amount of pulsating flesh filled with some horrible just fluids that, except for Otto, who's still unconscious, all of you must test willpower or gain a single insanity point, starting with Rentar. Okay, you gain a single IP. Now we have Snorri. You also have to test, believe it or not. Alright, a single IP for you.
Do you want me to see if that makes him rage even longer, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's unfortunately important.
That one he passes. Okay.
So that's good because it means that after you hack through it, you won't have to attack your friends. Now we have Francisco.
All right. Willpower.
You've passed.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Yes.
And now going to roll for Jaegers, and they are not even fazed by what's happening.
They understand.
Yeah. Eventually. Also Snorri, roll me toughness test. Because you are being covered by this horrible. Okay, that's important.
Yeah, failed.
Yeah, I'm going to roll for the. Yeah, they also failed. Okay. After literally a few minutes, you've hacked through the mount, and and you've discovered an entrance leading down. Yeah, but Snorri, you've composed yourself enough to stop, and the rest of you, Francisco, Rentar, you see that Otto is lying on the ground. You of course you saw that while the hunters and Snorri were cutting at the mount.
I'm gonna help Otto up.
All right. He is alive. He has a nasty bruise on his neck, but he is alive. Yeah, Otto, you regain your consciousness. You see Vrentar's worried face looking at you. Yeah.
What's happening?
You hear the sound of hacking, slashing, and chopping coming nearby, and some wordless curses from a dwarf.
It's like smelling salts. All right. I try to get
You
up.
might say Snorri salts.
I try to get up and get my wits about me and if I can, I'll join in the hacking of this
You want
file.
to join in the hacking? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in that case, I will need you to roll first willpower test.
Okay. No.
Insanity point for you.
Okay.
And now toughness test.
Toughness test. Links -5. Of course not.
Okay.
How would I?
Snorri, you've passed the toughness test, right?
Yeah. No. I failed.
You failed. Okay. So in that case, I'm.
You passed the willpower test, I thought so.
I only passed the willpower test to not keep staying insane.
Okay.
I failed the first one that
Yeah.
gave me an insanity point.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that. I just need to quickly note these things because I'm going to forget about them later. Oh man. Right. So eventually, you've cut your way through. Although this was a very disturbing experience. By the way, does anyone check on Gregor?
Yeah, I could check on him while the others are.
Yeah, well, Gregor is just, well, he's dead. He's been, he's been eviscerated. He looks at the night sky, cloudy night sky, with dead open eyes, and, these eyes are like full of resentment at the injustice which happened to him.
May the
Yeah.
waves take this laddie.
Yeah.
I'll
Says in an
say
Italian
some
accent.
prayers.
That wasn't.
Okay. Sorry, Rentar, come again?
I'll say some prayers over Gregor.
All right. Okay, I am going to remove the 4 maps on the right, sorry. So I hope you guys don't mind.
There were 4.
Yeah. That was the basement, yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot about those.
The entrance to the temple, you presume, is open. There are stairs leading down. Clearing away the darkened flesh, you find a blue stone staircase descending into the earth. There are 9 steps in all, stopping, well, down. Do you enter?
Yes, Otto says we must continue, brethren. We must destroy the foul powers.
By the way, you see that Snorri is seriously hurt.
Yeah. Is there any,
Oh,
is there
and
any gathering?
yeah. Oh, sorry. By the way, Brian, you test your toughness now. Like I said that you had basic toughness. Nice.
Passed.
Okay, nice. Yeah, Snorri is seriously hurt. You see, in the light of the torches, you can see the white bone of Rentar's skull, as well as the horribly charred flesh around it. Every single one of the hunters is hurt, completely covered in blood and other fluids. You all look like you went through hell, essentially.
And yet we're about to walk into it.
Yeah. So do you want to descend? You see that the hunters will follow you, Otto. They have this grim determination on their faces, and they just nod. Let's finish this, says Rupert, their leader.
I pat him on the shoulder.
Although we are bloodied and battered, we must see this through the end. Otherwise, all is for nothing.
Yes, we must, says one of the hunters. They look at you.
Let's go.
They look at you, Francisco.
Francisco
Oh.
nods.
Okay.
He just kind of nods in acceptance.
Okay. And
I think the Slayer would want
I
to
want to
continue.
pray again before I go down because Sigmar is not. He's
Alright.
not been watching over us.
yeah, you hear that one of the hunters is saying a prayer, The clash of honor calls to stand when others fall. Gods of war, feel the power of my sword. Anyone knows where this is from?
No.
Manowar. Sorry.
The metal band or
yeah, the metal band, yeah. Or Rhapsody of Fire, because they did a kick-ass cover of this song. So anyway, yeah, you once again you are preparing yourselves to just to descend, to just fill yourselves with this righteous violence, with this righteous fury, and so you do descend into the darkness, into the dark corners of the earth. Otto goes
You guys
first,
want the same order?
or I mean I don't know the order, so I'm asking you.
Yeah, Otto will go first again.
Oh, Snorri.
Oh yeah,
If there's
sorry.
a hand axe or anything, he can replace his dagger with.
Well, Gregor lost a weapon, unless you want to pick one of the cultists' weapons.
Yeah, he's gonna take whatever Gregor's hand weapon is.
Gregor had a sword.
Okay.
Okay. So you take Gregor's sword. It's rather long for you, but you will be able to use it without much problems.
Was there anything else of Gregor's that is of value?
He has bow and 10 arrows, and he has a leather armor, which I'm not sure that will fit you. Other than that, he just has he has a purse.
Loot the corpse. Loot the corpse.
Yeah.
All right, so Francisco doesn't have any, problems with looting the corpse. So you take the purse. It has a single gold crown and 9 shillings.
Okay.
Do you also take the bow and arrows?
I don't think that's necessary.
All right. Well, the Jaegers were like, no. They look at what you were doing with contempt, but didn't say anything.
I'm gonna growl a little bit, but I won't say anything.
Yeah. Just one of them. You've heard one of them muttering under his nose, "No honor with those foreigners."
If Francisco hears it, he's gonna say, "Would you think he'd want us to leave it all here for them, including this bow and arrows? Do you not think he would want us to use his equipment to better our position in any way possible? I would take those arrows if I were you."
One of the hunters, when he heard that, actually, look at the other two. The foreigner's right, We can use those. We can use those things against those bastards. Right. And they did took his bow and his arrows. And one of the hunters, you think it was actually the Trent, the man who shot himself, took Gregor's green silk bandana and stashed it in his under his robes, saying that when this is over, he will. Essentially, this is something to remember this man by, and he will, even if they won't retrieve the body, he will use it to give him a proper send off. So that was quite touching. Anyway, you descend into the darkness. I presume the same order as before. Otto first, then.
I think Snorri might try to work his way front.
All right, Otto, do you allow Snorri to go first?
Yes, I'll allow the dwarf to go first if he seems to be hell bent on
all right.
Something.
Snorri goes down first. He has a sword in his left hand. His right hand is just a mess. He also walks really funny, and he sounds kind of strange. It's not only the pain. Then it's Otto. Then I guess 2 Jaegers, Vrentar, and 3rd Jaeger. The 9 steps stopped at the bird antrum. Through an arch, you can see a long hall pierced with a row of alcoves on either side. Through the arches are sleeping creches for, the cultists probably. do you check the crashes?
Yeah, auto suggests that we check everything so that we don't leave anybody behind us.
All right. Well, first of all, the walls, ceilings, and floors of the temple are made from large blackish blue stones that make every corridor and room look like bruised flesh.
I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. The air in the temple is almost unbearable. The smell of rot and decay permeates everything. You are all just, gagging. Throughout the whole complex, cloudy mucus. Mucus. Yeah, cloudy mucus oozes from between the cracks of the stones, dripping from the walls and ceiling, and bubbling up from the floor. In places, the sticky strands of goo actually form webbing. You guess you can avoid these places easily, but you also guess that that in the thick of combat, if you would accidentally stumble into it, you would probably get ensnared. You are able, after visiting Villa Hahn, you are able to fight against the horrible, disgusting stench, but you don't know for how long you'll be able to just, hold your breaths. For now, you are managing. After suggestion from Otto, you search the sleeping crashes. They hold maggot-ridden scraps of cloth and bile. They hold maggot-ridden scraps of cloth and bile-stained bedrolls. The entire hall stinks of vomit and urine, and there are yellow chalk drawings of what looks like flies and other insects, along with symbols and runes covering the stone walls. You are all feel very, very uneasily looking at these drawings. Especially you, Vrentar, and you, Otto. You know that. You are not sure, but you guess that these drawings are a sort of prayers to whichever foul god this cultists worship. By the way, I would like to remind you that you feel like this place is almost alive. It's made from stone, but the stone looks like bruised flesh, and there are this oozing, just disgusting substance emanating from the cracks.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Okay, I was telling how the temple looks, Andy, so I'm just quickly tell you, okay? The walls, ceilings, and floors of the temple are made from large blackish blue stones that make every corridor and room look like bruised flesh. The air in the temple is almost unbearable. The smell of rot and decay permeates everything. Throughout the complex, cloudy mucus oozes from between the cracks of the stones, dripping from the walls and ceiling and bubbling up from the floor. In places, these sticky strands of goo actually form webbing. As I've said to the boys, you can avoid the webbing pretty easily, but you guess that in combat, you could probably accidentally fall into it and get ensnared. And since Otto suggested it, you guys did search the creches, and as I've also told the boys, the creches held maggot-ridden scraps of cloth and bile-stained bedrolls. The entire hall stinks of vomit and urine, and there are yellow chalk drawings of what looks like flies and insects, along with symbols and runes covering the stone walls. All of you feel really uneasily looking at them. They remind you of prayers, of a way to consecrate, in quotes, a place. And they are no doubt prayers to some horrible deity that this man who betrayed mankind worship. Oh, by the way, I can't give you right now the map for this place, but I will do so. But right now I can't, because it would, it's complicated. That said, let me just quickly check here. Oh my god, where is come on, game. Yeah, I have it here. Okay, that said, there are doors at the end of this hall where the cultists slept. You go there, I presume.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, right. So you open the door and you enter another room. Of course, your weapons are at the ready. The hunters are holding the torches in their hands. You've entered the library. Otto and Vrentar, you immediately, recognize this place. Snorri, Francisco, and the hunters, you don't really know what it is, but Otto and Vrentar, you see that this is a parody of a temple library. And it's actually barely that. It was mostly used as a storage area for most probably Ruprecht's books and items too dangerous to keep in the house, you guess. A couple of small shelves house a few books. You shiver to think about the topics which are described in these books, which are covered in these books. You can search the shelves if you wish so. Does anyone?
I don't think Snorri would care.
Yeah. Well, part of me is forgetting exactly. I mean, I know we were supposed to come down here. We're looking for. Well, I guess ultimately we're looking for what's his nuts. Karl, right?
Karl, yeah.
Okay.
I botched searching.
All right. Yeah, you see that Vrentar approached one of the shelves and began to search it. Vrentar, you check the books, but meanwhile, Otto, what were you saying? Because sorry, I've interrupted you.
Well, no, I was just trying to think of what reasoning Otto would have for looking in the books, and I feel like he wouldn't have any reason to look in the books because we're looking specifically for Karl.
I kind of also feel like Otto would probably be the first one to be like, "I burn it."
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But
yeah.
So as I said, the answer is not in these books. It's in further in the temple.
Yeah, you are saying that, but then you hear a scream from Vrentar.
As he turns into a chaos spawn.
Vrentar,
As
you
the book
were.
attacks him.
Yeah, a book attacked you. Essentially, Vrentar, you were, checking the books. Well, they are written in Reichspiel. At least the titles of most of them are written in Reichspiel, which you can read. And I think you also have classical, right?
Let me check that. I believe so.
I think you should have at this level of being a priest.
Classical, yeah.
Priests of higher levels have classical and access to easier access to altar boys. So anyway, you see that these books are mostly covering topics such as the history of, and you see the name of Nergal cults, while some of them depict simple religious routines, but you don't think that most of them are of religious nature until your eyes settle upon a leather-bound book of obviously higher quality than the others, which is named Libram Pandemic. And you've unfortunately touched it without even thinking. Roll for toughness. You've passed, but you swore that a pair of mandibles emerged from between the pages as you've touched the book and bitten you, and you've screamed in surprise and pain, because the bite was rather painful. The Jaegers naturally, of course, like, ah! What's happening?
Are these?
I'm gonna
wooden
bash the
books?
book with my hammer.
Yeah.
All right, you've bashed the book with your hammer. The book fell to the ground. It's still there. One of the Jaegers, you know what? One of the Jaegers just jumped and, without even asking you, put the torch to the book. and the book after a few seconds caught fire and began to burn. Are you okay, priest? Asks the Jaeger.
Yes, I think we should do that with all these books in here.
Otto says, wait, let's wait until we're leaving to burn the books, just so we don't smoke ourselves out.
Yeah, good call, says another of the hunters.
But let's put it all to the torch once we leave.
Yeah. Well,
Once you leave, says Snorri.
What?
Once you leave, says Snorri.
All right.
Snorri's not leaving.
Yeah, so anyway, this room also has a couple of other spaces, which I guess you can check if you wish so. One to the right, one to the left. Well, actually, two to the right, one to the left. Where are you going first? Because the door to the library were actually opened when you've entered this space, and that's why you saw what it contained. Do you want to check the space to the left or two areas to the right?
Well, Otto, you're kind of leading still, right? We're still kind of in formation, so. Makes no difference to me, says Federico.
But that's question to Otto. Otto. Sean?
Blotto, are you getting blotto?
Yes, I'm just muted and talking.
Oh, sorry.
The usual thing.
Yeah.
I told you my great strategic plan. Sorry.
He solved all the problem with chaos in the Empire, and if you aren't going to listen to him the first time, well, he's just not going to repeat it again.
Yes. So what I was saying is that we should all go to the right, because I don't want to leave any more demons or traitors of humanity behind us.
Right.
So I suggest to the right.
You go to the area to the right. You know what? Actually, sorry guys, I am going to send this map here. Okay.
Okay.
We will do this as previously the map of the villa. It will be easier for me to just show you the things.
Yeah. Is the map labeled demon here?
Yeah, great unclean one here. Wow, it's pretty. Why this map is so large?
Previously unknown corn cult here.
Yeah, well, actually the map was.
End times, door to the end times.
Oh, now it's fine. Okay. Yeah, apparently something is very wrong with Roll20 today because it uploads the maps very messily. I think that will this will suffice. Can you see the map well?
I can see it. I'm just trying to tell. Okay, so we came in.
I'm going to note the places which you've already visited with red X's. Okay? This was the sleeping hall.
Right.
This is the large area that you've entered, and this is the library.
Okay.
And now you went to the right, which is here.
Yes.
And this was a mess hall. This room contains rows and rows of long wooden tables and benches, used as a mess hall by the cultists during probably the Chaos Incursion. It is now used only by those few remaining here. Wooden cutlery and plates lie on the tables and the floor, covered in mold. On the other side of the mess hall is the entrance to the kitchen. Are you go there?
How many can we get an idea of how many people could be here?
Well, the tables are rather big, so you guess that at least a couple of dozen. Plus, it's clear that many of the cultists ate on the floor, sitting on the floor. So, yeah, this place it might very well be able to supply a whole army of cultists, which is kinda true with what you found in Ruprecht's journal. After all, he was ordered to create the temple as a sort of a forward operating base for the forces of the arch enemy coming from the north. A resupply point, if you will, stuff like that.
So Otto suggests that we just double check the kitchen real quick.
The smell and the stench, the whole miasma of this place is just getting to you. Two of the hunters already vomited. They can't hold their, what's the word?
Stomachs.
The insides of their
Contents of their stomachs.
The contents of their stomachs, and all of you, your eyes are just, they begin to tear from this horrible smell. You're not sure how long you'll be able to endure it. Actually, it's so bad. That said, you enter the kitchen after Otto, and the kitchen is an appalling chamber of horrors. Human legs, arms, and torsos hang from iron hooks set in the ceiling. Heaps of entrails and viscera clatter the butcher blocks that bristle with stuck cleavers and knives. The floor is slick with offal and streaked with disgusting filth. A profusion of boot prints suggests this room sees regular use. But you see that there is nothing here worth checking, and probably it would be a very bad idea to touch anything here.
Yeah, no desire to touch anything. Just looking in to make sure that there's not somebody in there behind us that's going to come out and surprise us.
Oh, and of course, there are just apocalyptic amounts of insects, of roaches, beetles, and flies feasting on this meat.
Yeah, what's wrong?
And they're just covering almost every surface of the temple. They're covering the tables. They were covering the beds. They were in the library. They are everywhere, and their buzzing drives you mad. Brian, you here, by the way? Brian?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. You here?
Okay.
Okay. You here?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the kitchen.
All right, let's.
So there's also another room to the left.
Let's do it.
All right. You move to the left. There's a room here, small room, with two sets of doors. Not taking any chances. One of the hunters actually advises that two of you enter from one side and the rest from the other side. Well, actually, three of you from one side, four of you from the other side. Since there are two pairs of doors here.
Sounds like a wise plan.
All right. You kick the door inside and jump into this room. This room is simple. It contains a simple bed and bureau. But there's nothing else here. Although Vrentar and Otto, you have a nasty suspicion that this is the head priest's room. Because this whole temple is like a, debased parody of a good, honest imperial temple.
I'm gonna say that out loud.
Yeah.
So we don't overlook anything.
The hunters, of course, when you said that, they've just made signs of Tau and Sigmar. Francisco, I guess that even you are getting phased by this. Or not. Francisco?
He's probably on mute as well.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I had a phone call.
Okay.
Oh.
So I don't know if you've heard, but Vrentar...
the up to the kitchen part, and that there's a room with the the head.
Yeah, head priest's room. Yeah. And Vrentar said that out loud, that this temple is basically a demented parody of a normal imperial temple, like a Sigmarite temple or an Ulrican temple.
Okay.
Yeah. So after all, the arch enemy takes a great delight in taking, taking everything good and honest from mankind and just perverting it in their own, for their own nefarious ends. Does anyone check the bureau?
Yeah, Otto will check it.
All right. Well, you check the bureau. It reveals common clothes, and there's also a tattered book.
Do I have a dagger? I think I have a dagger. I poke it with my dagger just to make sure it doesn't bite me.
All right. You poke it with the dagger. It doesn't bite you.
Okay. I pick it up and look at it.
You open it.
Yes.
There's no title. It's all right. You open it. It's filled with unintelligible writing and markings. You can read it, and actually your eyes begin to hurt when you try to do so.
Okay. I throw it down and spit on it.
All right. After that, you also, and I don't know if you can see it on the map, but there are stairs there leading down.
Yes.
All right. By the way, my question is, how much time do we have left? Because I would at least like to end this at a certain point. It's not far from here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a specific time. I can also say, the sooner the better, because I'm kind of in the doghouse, apparently. So.
Uh-oh.
What does that mean? I don't know.
It means
this.
he's in trouble with his wife.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so you know what, Andy? In that case, we can just.
No, I mean it's not a big deal. We can get to the finishing point. I just I can't be on until for like another 2 hours or anything.
Yeah. I mean 2 hours. Yeah. It's like no way.
Our characters
get us downstairs.
That long.
Get us downstairs into the boss room.
Yeah. Yeah. The Diablo is waiting.
Yeah. So
okay.
I mean, like another 20 or 30 minutes is fine.
Okay, so that will be perfect. Okay, so you move to the stairs. The stairs are leading down to the lower level. You have a feeling of descending deeper and deeper into this literal plague hell, into a place which no sane man should ever visit, where the laws of your governed world no longer exist, and they don't even matter, because people who live here, quote unquote, have threw them out the window, have just forsaken them for the easy power and madness. Eventually you emerge here. I'm going to do something like this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And here you emerge, because this is these are two different maps. These are two different levels. Like the upper map is a level down, essentially.
Yeah.
So you emerge here. And descending a series of stone steps, you enter the lower part of the temple. You see a single long hall heading to the east that abruptly turns to the south. Now, I probably without orientation you wouldn't be able to tell it, but for simplicity's sake, I just told you. There are a dozen cages with rusty bars and gates on either side of the hall, presumably used as holding cells for sacrificial victims, and this is the part that really makes your stomach, churn. Several of the cages contain lumpy masses that were probably human at some point. If possible, the smell of decay is even worse down here. From down the hall and around the corner, you can hear a constant droning, chanting. You know that the ritual to bind Ruprecht to Karl with the necklace of unfailing loyalty has begun. The hunters look at you with grim faces, and they clutch their weapons, tighter. They also doused the torches and drew their long hunting daggers, because there is a light coming from around the corner, so you can see it fairly well here, especially you, Snore, with your night vision. well, infrared vision, so I guess you move towards the corner, right?
Yes.
All right. As you pass one of the cages, a man reaches for them through the bars, screaming. His mouth, hands, and chest are covered in blood. The body in the next cage has human teeth marks in it. You all see this in just a few seconds, and your minds analyze it in even, faster time. The man has eaten the decayed flesh of the person in the cell next to him to stay alive. The man bluffers incoherently at the PC, incoherently at you, and is unresponsive to anything you say to him. Because the hunters immediately try to, shh, quiet, we're going to help you, we're going to get you out, but this man is just, of course he's doing this a lot louder than I am right now, and you know what this means. This means that this man, while not being overtly harmful to you, he will, warn the cultists of your coming, because the noise he makes may alert them. Or if you want to do something quick, you can do it now. You have a single turn to do something, to decide, or I'm going to, or I will have to do something. A single
Otto
turn.
will just put his sword through the guy's throat.
All right, Otto, you've slain the man. You've killed him. A single strike from your double-handed sword pierced his neck. The man fell to the bottom of the cage, gargling blood. The stench is horrible. That said, you did probably gave him peace. He just, he probably has been locked here for so long that he went completely mad. You can't even tell how old he was. Essentially, this cultists, they did things to him that drove him over the edge, made him less than a man, and so in a way, you've set him free. Yeah. Okay. So after that, you turn around the corner and you enter the plague shrine, because that's what it is. This is it. An altar on the far side of the room stands 3 feet tall and is decorated with what appears to be viscera. Set into the floor with snot-green mosaic tiles is an octagram positioned in the center of the room. Behind the altar is a gaping hole. Crumbled stone pieces lie on the floor in front of the hole, as if something outside the shrine has forced its way in. I'm going to quickly... Okay, yeah. I'm going to mark this. Yeah. Fortunately, you were able to deal with the crazy man quietly and quickly, so the cultists are unaware of your presence. When you enter the shrine, there are total 9 of them, kneeling around the octagram facing the altar. Tobias, because Vrentar, you recognize the man, Karl, and probably the high priest are standing at the altar, with the high priest chanting and lifting the necklace of unfailing loyalty above his head, about to lower it around Karl's neck. All of you...
Shoot him! I say to the hunters with bows.
They don't have bows, they have swords and daggers. They don't have bows in this enclosed space. It wouldn't be tactically feasible for them to use them. That said, they will probably draw them, but all of you feel an incredible urge to save the boy. And because of that, we are just ending this, but I would like for you all to naturally test. As in chapter 3, I want you to make willpower tests, all of you, starting with Vrentar. Failed.
Is this the kind of willpower test that will set me off?
No, this
No.
one. Now let's go with Snorri.
I hit it.
Okay.
I'm still seeing that Brian is rolling the dice. So
Okay, so let's go with Jason, maybe. Okay.
Oh,
there
there
you
you go.
Uh,
Nice. Double success.
Well, unfortunately, the first counts, and the first didn't manage to pass. So now, Jason.
12?
Yes.
12. Oh.
Yes.
Because he's minus a million.
Jason, now it's your turn.
Oh, I passed. Well, I don't know. Did I pass?
Yes, you've passed.
Okay.
You've
All
passed.
So my 2 would have passed.
Yes.
Oh.
No. So, except for let me.
I have a luck that I'm. No.
You want to reroll? Well, you can't reroll a successful roll if you wish so.
No, I meant for if anybody needed a luck that.
Oh, I'll take it.
No, not for this roll. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Not for this roll.
No, it's okay. I mean, actually, this reminds me. Didn't Jason? Didn't you pass the test last time too?
No, he also failed. Now,
Okay.
Francisco, let me put it this way: you can hear, your comrades inhaling sharply as they look at the boy. I am going to roll for the Jaegers, but it's probably just a formality. Holy shit, they've passed!
They're all like, "Let's do this."
No, actually, sorry, no, they pass on 0-1 with such modifiers. It's literally impossible. Actually, one of them will pass. No, one of them will pass, but only one. Oh, one. You can hear 2 of the Jaegers just. It's true. It's Sigmar reborn, and you can hear your comrades, Francisco, also muttering something like that. So innocent, so pure. We must save him.
Headless.
But Francisco, one thing: you feel the urge to protect this boy. You can just fight it, but you want to. With every fiber of your being, you want to serve this boy, this cherub-like youth, who is of course very dirty, very disheveled, but he still has, those. He's still about 12 summers old. He has those blonde curly hair. He looks like it's even described in the book like a cherub. But you can fight it, and when you take a glance at your comrades, you see that one of the Jaegers, you think it's their leader Rupert, looks at the other 2 with the look of like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? But he's not saying anything. And as you've intake the air into your lungs, it was all the cultists needed to see you, and they rose as one, getting up. The high priest didn't put the necklace on the boy. He actually moved to the side. Tobias, of course, he holds the boy like in front of him by his shoulders. You see that the boy he's been crying. He's terrified. Rentar, with fury, you can see that it is indeed Vanderpeer, the so-called face of the crusade, the man who marched with it from Marienburg, but who turned out to be a vile scum. Yeah, so anyway, Tobias is like, looking at you. Well, look who we have here. Are you boys lost? This is no place for you. We are creating history here, and you're not welcome in the hall of the Father. The cultists, of course, drew their weapons. You are also probably those who failed, you must move closer to them. You don't have to attack, but you won't be able to retreat right now. So, for example, the hunters are moving closer, and those of you who failed the test are also, even without thinking, just taking a few steps forward.
Mm-hmm. That's me and Otto.
Everybody but Jason.
Yeah, you, Otto, and Snorri, plus 2 of the hunters.
So it's just one. It's the leader of the hunters and
you,
Frederico, who's okay.
Yeah. Well,
Isn't your name Francisco?
Francisco. Yeah. I'm giving you one last chance, and he looks at you, Rentar, with a sneer on his face. To go back, leave this place, and you might even live. Who knows? Maybe the wolves won't get you.
What? Otto has to take wolves?
Oh, look.
And I'm giving you one last chance to set that boy free, and we'll make this swift.
Oh, look. A priest.
Yeah, Snorri's not waiting for the talking.
Yeah.
He's gonna go save Karl and kill something.
Yeah. A couple of things happen all at once, and we are ending this right now. Snorri is probably just charging towards the 9 cultists, and the 2 hunters are also accompanying you, of course, shouting oaths to Karl. Vrentar, I believe you also, do the same thing when you see your friends rushing to save Sigmar Reborn. As does Otto, especially after Tobias told you, Otto, oh look, a priest of the dog god graced us with his presence. Woof woof! And he, looked at you with this contemptuous sneer. The high priest also, issued a laugh from his disgusting throat.
Yeah.
So my question is, oh, by the way, Francisco, when Rupert see his men and your comrades charging towards the altar, he curses, but he also rushes the cultists because he doesn't want to leave his men alone. So my question is, are you staying or are you also charging?
I think I'm going. Did the cultists essentially block the way?
Yes,
to the others?
I am going to later put them on the map, on the tactical map, but for now, let me just tell you that the 9 cultists formed like a wall before the altar, and the high priest, Karl, and Tobias are behind the altar. Just
Okay.
so you know. The cultists are all armed with an assortment of hand weapons. They are... they are prepared. They also have bows and arrows, but of course they are these are on their backs. They also have shields with a similar motif that the previous cultists had, flies, 3 circles, stuff like that. So my question is, Jason, are you going to rush them and help your comrades? Or are you doing something else?
I don't really have anything else to do, so I'd probably support my comrades.
All right.
Though, yeah.
All right. Excellent. So in that case, you are just running towards the altar, running to save this boy, this Sigmar Reborn, running to prevent him from being corrupted by the ruinous powers. But whether you succeed or not, we'll see next time, because for now we are ending this here. And since a hard fight is before you, and we need to finish this quickly, I'm just once again going to give you 110 points today for each of you, so making sure that you have at least a single advancement before our next game. Yeah, and that's it, honestly.
I can already tell you what I'm gonna buy if you.
Well,
we should wait.
I am. You can tell me, but I am going to ask you either way on the next session. I always do.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Wait.
And so we are ending this for today. So Andy, just in case, tell your wife that it was, I don't know, my fault.
No. It's beyond that. It's
Okay, it's complicated.
it's stir crazy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean
Yeah.
the isolation is getting to everyone. I
Yes.
understand. Okay. Well, I don't want you having to have any problems because of that. So.
No.
Okay, well, but in that case, we should try and organize another session. So I don't know. It can be either 3rd of May or later. It's up to you guys. For now I am open. I mean, I am staying home anyway.
Yeah.
So just what do you say? 3rd of May?
3rd sounds good to me.
That sounds good.
Jay?
So far, so good. Yeah.
Andy?
Yeah. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, so 3rd is okay. All right. If anything would happen or change, let us know and we can reschedule. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. See you all next time, and I'll probably be contacting some of you on Facebook. Anyway, later, guys. Take care.
Later.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks.
Later.